describes acts of extreme violence in graphic detail and may include discussions about demonology and the occult, topics that caused widespread panic during the 1980s. This content may not be suitable for children under the age of 50. Viewer and listener discretion is advised.
Previously on Grogtalk.
The story ends well. I mean, other than, of course, the decapitation, I think the story ends well.
And with that, we're going to celebrate by eating Peeps.
I'm really sorry about.
No!
Yeah, then they eat them. We rolled the Amulet of the Plains.
Amulet of the Plains.
Can you play like mob rules on a mandolin or something? Like play some metal on a mandolin.
Breaking the law, breaking the
Yes.
law. Breaking the law, breaking the law.
I wonder if that is the first time in the history of the world that breaking the law has been played on a mandolin. Entangle only works near plants. Dead from assassination.
Oh, poor Jonathan dead, Vic dead.
Wow.
Dead.
Wow. This is like the NCAA tournament.
Yeah.
Like half the teams are gone in the first round.
Dead,
This is the playing
dead.
game.
Everyone is dead.
Wow. This is a bloodbath.
Welcome to the Grogtalk with your hosts, Dan and James.
And we are back. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to Grog Talk. I'm James.
And I'm Dan.
And Dan, where are we from today?
So, as you know, we are out of the abyss. We are continuing the Grog Talk tour. And today we are from the Broken Web at the town of Byre? B-Y-R? Byre.
Byre, give yourselves a hand. That's right. There we go. Congratulations. We're, of course, live in front of the studio audience, so. Wow, that's a big crowd.
I think they're angry. Why do in adventure modules, why are the towns always, not always, but often just tough names? You don't know how to pronounce them, right? You remember from Citadel by the Sea, there was, I think, Awad, A-W-A-D.
Yeah.
And
Awad,
this is
that's right.
Awad, and this is Byre beer. I mean, if you're gonna make it, shouldn't you allow? And you're gonna send it in, you should have a name that people know how to pronounce. James, do you know? This is a hard one. I don't think you're gonna. Do you know where the Broken Web in the town of Byre is from? What adventure? It is an adventure that was published in Dragon magazine.
Okay, that narrows it down considerably.
Right. Well, it makes it harder, probably.
Yeah, there's only 400 Dragonming. So, I have no idea, Dan. You got me.
Yeah, that's a tough. Chagmat. Do you remember Chagmat?
Mm-mm. That sounds like a medication you take.
Today's episode of Grog Talk is brought to you by Chagmat. So, Chagmat. So it had like spider things. It had a picture of a spider, drawing of a spider on the door, and the adventure. Okay, moving on. That's where we're at. And just to let you know, we do overhear conversation concerning the disappearance of 5 maidens from the town. These 5 women have all vanished within the last 2 weeks. James, now this is going to startle you. Search parties have been sent out, but you know what happened to the search parties?
What?
They were never heard from again.
You know, that seems to be what happens with them. They search parties and they never heard from again. And then you, dear adventurers, are the ones who will save the day, save the fair maidens. That's great.
Well, I say we keep moving on. I say we just leave this town.
Yeah, why would you?
Sounds dangerous.
That's the DM's worst nightmare, right? They read the whole module. They're all ready for it. And it's always one person. At least recently, I've noticed this more.
James, you, sir, have been that person.
I have been.
Shall I? Okay, and shall I remind you? I was running Chapel of Silence. Do you remember that one?
I do.
And you come up,
I wrote a poem about it because it was so horrible. For like instead of the Sound of Silence, the Chapel of Silence, if I remember.
and you, the party came upon this abandoned chapel,
Right.
in the mountains pass on the way to wherever, and you're like, let's just keep moving. I'm like, really? So basically, I'm gonna have to like Dorso it with like random rolls in the wilderness, and okay. People be like, that was a strange adventure. It didn't have a lot of cohesion. It just seemed like a series of random adventures. Okay, well, blame James.
Right. Well, I mean, that wasn't part of our mission. We were going someplace, if I recall. And what did my premonition of my character determine? We would have avoided, now, mind you, for those listening at home, we are 1st to 3rd level at this time. What were some of the great creatures that we could have encountered in the Chapel of Silence?
I assume, because you assume you're talking about the vampire. You did encounter the vampire.
That's right. A vampire, ladies and gentlemen, was in this thing, as well as weren't your trolls having carnal relations, if I recall, or ogres or something like that?
Yes, but that's not That's not dangerous unless you decide to get involved.
I think there was a cockatrice as well.
You mean like that little chicken thing?
You could go ride the cockatrice. You could, yeah. That would have been a terrible disaster.
Well, okay, James. Based upon your theory, then why don't you just play a salt merchant or something?
I'm sure maybe that's the role-playing game for me.
Okay. Yeah, it's like, yeah, you're merchant class. I want to be a merchant.
I think, I've heard there are the gnomes adventure RPG, where you like help the rabbit find his carrot that was misplaced. Maybe that's more my speed.
There's a halfling. Well, there's a game. There's an RPG someone did recently where you're a halfling in the village, and yeah, that you do stuff like that. Like who stole Farmer Maggot's mushrooms, and you find them and kill them.
So, but Chapel of Silence wasn't low-level adventure. I mean, that's what they said, right?
Yes, it's, I believe, Molly Plant, and it was for basic. It was for Holmes Basic, but I don't believe that we've had this conversation before, I think. I don't believe that the Vampire in Holmes Basic was significantly different such that could explain the inclusion of it in a low-level adventure. I don't know. Well, you're supposed to run, and you ran. Well, most of you did.
No, we tried to run.
Those who ran lived.
That's right. Running was good. Actually, it was fun. It was a fine adventure. But yes, I was that guy who said, nah, I don't want to do this one. Okay.
But James, you saw me expertly save the adventure and pull you back in, right?
Yeah, I think you said this is the adventure, and if you
wanted... James. God damn it.
This is what I got.
James, you son of a bitch.
Ooh, there you go. Got it.
Oh, I can't say anything on this show. I've said that twice now. You got a new one. I can't say anything on this show.
I have that one. All right, what time is that? That was... the whole show is now just getting sound clips of you.
I'm surprised you don't just call me up on Skype, like, just claim to have to talk about something and just like record it.
Something controversial.
All right.
It's all right. So maybe I'll pull that. I have so many bits now. It's I can't even fit them on the soundboard. So, but all right, moving on. That was very good. So, GrogCon, it's coming together, October 15th to the 17th, and this hopefully next month you'll be able to buy your tickets. If you are a patron of a high enough tier, we will buy your tickets for you. So when they come online, let us know that you're coming down. I really need to let you know, we will be physically paying for the tickets. It's not like we have free tickets. So if you don't come, we'll have extra tickets. So we prefer that you're coming if you are. But we want be our guest. And we're also looking at some kind of early bird incentive to entice people to come, because one of the things we were stressed about 2 years ago was a lot of people didn't sign up to the very end, and we were scrambling to get games going, and we'd really want to get this a little more organized. So, great, Lloyd's going to be there. Thanks. We will see you, Lloyd.
Oh, that is great. We have one.
And he'll be there. We got one.
We got one. Yeah, nothing instills confidence like checking that board of games like a week before and seeing 0 out of 8, 0 out of 8, 0 out of 8. So, and James, this might be a time. I said I was going to spring some things on you.
Yes, please do.
We've talked about, haven't we, about having a mascot for GrogCon, like the Olympics, because it's Olympics time. The Olympics are coming up, correct? The Summer Olympics, aren't they? I think they are. Japan, aren't they happening? Oh, I lost you.
There is a Summer Olympics. I believe it's in Japan.
Okay, so we should have, and they have a mascot. You also have a goofy mascot for the Olympics, correct?
Usually it's some weird anime, weird, and Japan. Not that they're weird, but they're known for their colorful mascots. Cities have mascots. It's a very popular thing over there.
Well, I thought GrogCon should have a mascot. We should randomly roll at some point a mascot, and then we can name it, and that would be the equivalent of the goofy Olympic mascot.
Yeah. Well, if you want to draw our mascot and name it, that would be awesome.
But we got to randomly roll it. It's got to be a randomly rolled monster. So it could be like the Displacer Beast. It could be anything. Jimmy the Displacer Beast.
I see. So we're not going to make up something. Ogre Magi was a suggestion.
James, have you seen the show?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure.
What do you guys think of that idea?
There you go.
No.
So there you go. I don't.
No.
I like the idea. I like
it. Trust the dice, James. Use the dice.
Okay, use the dice. I like it. All right.
Trust the dice.
So I wasn't sure if we were creating a mascot from whole cloth or just naming the mascot. I got it now. I'm with you.
I think it's randomly rolled, and then we can name it. That'll be the fun. We can name it, and people can draw pictures of it. I think it's going to be a lot of fun.
Right. Yeah, that would be good. I like it. So we could roll. When are we going to roll this thing?
Whenever you want.
Well, let's do it next month when the tickets are going. So that because I don't want to go through all that. But there's also Go Delicious. If we don't, it could always be the de facto mascot.
You could.
We could recreate his killing, like an annual festival.
I don't like losers. I don't like monsters that weren't. I like monsters that weren't killed. Okay.
Okay, I love it. That's very. That sounds very familiar. He was.
I don't care if Go Delicious is a war hero.
He was.
Okay?
He's a.
I don't care. I like monsters that weren't killed.
His history was legendary, but apparently that doesn't do anything for you. Okay, well that's fine. Well, very good. I have to write that down. We got to write down. Hold on. Follow up.
Oh, you write this down. Can you carry the show for a second? I just noticed I'm without dice, which is like a cop without his gun.
No. Why are you? Is this? I'm going to force you to come back here only because you've become less and less prepared as this is going on.
Oh, really? When I would show up at your house, I'm like, wait, where the dice? I think they're in the trunk of my car, and I had this big bag, and I couldn't find certain dice. It was worse.
Yeah. Maybe that's just because it's been so long. All right, I'll go get some dice. I will continue this side freak show. That's right.
Tell a joke.
I don't have any jokes. Okay, mascot roll randomly. All right, so go ahead, keep going. I got this. Thanks, Dan. Appreciate it. All right, so we'll roll for mascot apparently. Grognard's Guild Online. A lot of good stuff, and play-by-post is going great. If you, we get a lot of people listening to the show. If you're not playing First Edition D&D or another old school game, come out to our Discord. People are playing by post on the Discord, which is amazing. They're also using Meetup to play online, and eventually, sooner than later, we may actually be able to play in person. We are more than happy to host on the Meetup your game so you can get people together. So. So let's talk about, and this is all possible thanks to our patrons, right? Thank you, patrons, for all that you do. We have, next month, we're going to have 2 new, well, we should have talked behind this. He's back. Yeah, that's it. We have 2 new patrons coming next month, so we'll be rolling 2 new titles. So that's super exciting. I'm very happy about that. And what we do need to do is give away something. How about that? That's super fun. We like giving away another, right? So
wow, you've come 180 again on this on the track. Oh,
yeah, we're giving away the Sanguine Labyrinth. This is the one that this is from Carlos Lysing of Castle Entertainment. This is with a very evocative picture. It's hard to see but for those on the podcast, it is the party is going through and the walls are bleeding, and it looks the characters look very wary. Shockingly, they're concerned as they walk through a dungeon with blood oozing walls. You would think that wouldn't be such a big deal, but
well, at least they're not being eaten.
Well, I assume that happens later.
That's on the back cover.
Ooh, let me see what's on the back cover. Nothing's. There could be something on the back cover, but it has a little white sheet to keep it a little more
so you can't
rigid.
see.
Yep.
It's probably.
So, guess what we get to fondle?
You get to fondle.
We get to shake up the sack. It's time for Shake the Sack. Shake the sack. Shake the sack. That's another theme song I got to work on.
See, now you don't use those clips of you saying stuff like that.
Shake the sack?
Yeah, or fondle the sack. And none of that ever gets played. I can't say anything on this show. Now you're going to use that against me. I say what you said, and then you're going to play me saying it probably. I can't say anything on this show.
I'm going to get it ready. Shake the sack. You know, if you call out a thing you want me to have a thing for, I'll do that, of course. It's a partnership here, Dan. Partnership. I may not play it, but I'll have it available. Yeah. So, all right, let me get our patron list. You have your dice ready, correct?
Yeah, I do. I had to. I don't know. The cat's got at him again, but yeah. So. So I have to use a little. I'm using a little green guy.
And when you say the cat's got at them, what does that mean?
Not that. They played with the dice.
Oh.
They didn't use it as a cat box.
Okay, that's because that was one of our most active Twitters we ever had when I queried the Twitter land saying, "Do you wash your dice?" That was
right.
That was that was one of that is the formula for Twitter: inane, off the wall questions.
Some people felt it was none of your business.
Well, I loved it. That was great. That's what made it more intrusive. I'm like, and Vic Dorso's building the dice washer machine. He's got CAD drawings. So, all right, tell me when to stop here.
Please make it stop. Make it stop.
All right, a yellow. So that means I need a D6.
Okay. I'm rolling a D6. I have a D6, and it appears clean. I've rolled a 6.
All right, excellent. So Adrian Sanchez, one of our dear friends, he has won this adventure. Yay, congratulations. So Adrian, if you're listening, I'll reach out to you as well. If you're listening, please go to Patreon and put your address in, and you, sir, will be winning. I will be sending you the Sanguine Labyrinth. So let me write that down so I don't forget. People, if not to say people are smart, if they knew me, they would send a note to me saying, "Hey, I won. Can you send me my gift?" And I would send it to them because I'm like you, Dan. I forget who wins and who doesn't win. So they should just send random notes to me saying, "Hey, I haven't received my gift."
Right.
And I'd be like, "Okay, yeah, let me send it."
If you say so.
Yeah, I'm horrible. There's a lot to this little.
You're a very bad
enterprise.
man.
No, there's just a lot going on to this enterprise. All right.
I wouldn't know. So I've heard.
So I've heard. All right, sir.
Hey, I'll be done in a few hours.
That's right. Well, when you're the talent, that's what you can do. So, yes, the sack does not lie. Absolutely.
Zach doesn't lie. Oh no.
Okay, so next is if you want your wonderful language and text and thoughts announced live on the show, do an iTunes review. It's very simple. Mm-hmm. Go out, even if you don't use iTunes. Tell us what you think about the show, good, bad. I will read it verbatim as long as it's not illegal for me to do so. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Right? So
yeah.
I guess sedition would be a problem, I think, right? Is that free speech?
If it was, well, I think if you were encouraging it, you might have a problem.
Right.
Right. I mean, if somebody sent in how to make a bomb, we may not want to read that, like under the guise of a review. Here's my review. Okay, what you need to do is get this, and you wouldn't read that.
Threatening others, I think, is a no-no.
Here's my review. I want to kill James and Dan. Is that what you're thinking?
That's right. I want others to kill James and Dan.
Yes, go to their houses, kill them all.
Kill their families, kill their cats, kill their dogs, kill their fish, kill them all.
Just make it stop, and make sure it never comes back.
Right. So, and so I will have to review this with our legal department, and if they are okay with it, I will read it verbatim, good, bad, indifferent, funny, not funny. So go out to iTunes, put an iTunes review. We would appreciate that. And the last thing, we're going to have the pleasure of having our dear friend Rob Cask. Can we just call him Rob Cask at this point?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, sure.
Who will be on to review his latest opus, and we're very proud of, Flipping and Turning 3. That'll be coming on soon. If you want to contribute to Flipping and Turning, go out to your email, figure out what you want to say, and send it to editor@grogcon.com. That is editor@grogcon.com. All right, last thing. Hopefully next Saturday, we're supposed to have episode 2 of our patron-exclusive Grogtalk Adventures. That'll be this Saturday from 7 to 10. We still have slots available. So if you are interested and you are a patron, send us a message at our Patreon, and first come, first serve. So a lot of people are not checking their Patreon. Either that, or my messages aren't getting to people because, or they just don't care. I don't know.
Yeah, I was going to ask you: is at what point in time do we extend it to non-patrons who are interested or patrons who are uninterested? And at what point in time do we extend it to non-patrons who are also uninterested?
Or to the homeless. Or to those who don't have a computer.
That's pretty much where I was going with this, yeah.
Well, that's very biblical. Instead of helping those who know us, just open the doors and let anyone. Now that we've been, vaccinated, we both have the blood clot generating shot. That's.
Oh, don't even. Oh, yeah. Yes. Yeah. Yes.
Coursing through our veins.
Yes, I have a family member that this is day 7 of the J&J. So yes, we are very familiar with this situation.
So it's So okay. I assume that's what you've been working on is litigation for that.
Yes, exactly. The complaint is already drafted.
Can I do an amicus brief? I don't know what an amicus brief is, but I would love to do one.
That was a question on the Jeopardy.
I would like to do that on behalf of whoever the person is. Anyway, my point is, if you want to play, let us know on Patreon. That would be very helpful. So, with that said, we are now ready for the best of April 1981. Actually, the second part of April 1981.
Yes, indeed. So not a ton happening, much of it depressing. So, James, the first Thursday, April 9th, 1981, the first case of the following disease was diagnosed by Dr. John Gullett in San Francisco.
Well, there's half of me wants to make a joke, but that's terribly inappropriate.
No,
so I'm going to say, and I would say it's HIV, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it is. Yep. 1981, April 1981. Yeah, first case of AIDS. So that's obviously depressing.
Wow, this is. I don't even have a thing for sad.
A Grogtalk downer. Well,
Yeah.
James, you take the good with the bad here.
Okay.
On April 12th, the space shuttle what? This has turned into basically a trivia session segment. The space shuttle named what is launched from Cape Canaveral?
Discovery.
Columbia.
Columbia.
Columbia. It safely returns on the 14th, despite the loss of some heat shielding tiles from its body. So was that the one that was kind of nerve-wracking, that they knew they had come off? Did they see? Wasn't there one where they saw that it had come off?
Pieces were flying off already, and they weren't.
Oh, was that? Well, that maybe was that. That wasn't. Was that the disaster? But I can't remember. So.
Well, there was one where it went up, and as it was, I think when the whatever those things were, the fuel rockets were launching off, it pulled off a couple, or part of a piece of ice, because this stuff is liquid gas, and a piece of ice fell off and hit the tile and took the tile off. I don't know.
Yeah, I remember something that seems very nervous about it. Okay, this is interesting. I did not know about this. Wednesday, April 15th, 1981, Washington Post reporter Janet Cook admits her Pulitzer Prize-winning article on an 8-year-old heroin addict is a fabrication. She becomes the only winner. Yeah, she returns the prize. And this one is for all of our friends. We have a big Canadian following.
We do.
Canadian Prime Minister Pierre Trudeau rejects plans to turn the country into a loose confederation of states. So they were gonna go sort of the way our southern states tried to go. I guess, obviously, well, I assume without.
That's the whole Quebec slavery thing, I think, right?
Well, that's always, and that's all. Quebec's always happening. Isn't it?
This is. We need a segment called "What Americans Think of the World," because Dan and I are the representative Americans who really don't have a clear understanding of what's going on outside our own houses, let alone in the world thing. So yes, our understanding is the French Canadians, they barely don't want to be Canadians. They'd rather just be French. Is my understanding.
So we've heard, and tonight at 8 p.m., James, 40 years ago, tonight, 8 p.m., 8 is enough.
8 is enough. A great show.
A great show.
And he just recently died, Dick Van Patten. It's interesting about those 70s people. The parents always look so old. Like, they look like they were in their 50s or 60s, but they were in their 30s and 40s. So
yes.
There's a lot of them are still alive. You think they've got to be dead.
James, we would be the grandfathers on these shows,
right?
These sitcoms, They
just look so old and haggard. I mean, he looked like he was in 55. So I'm sure he died in his late 80s. But
yeah,
you didn't think he'd be alive at this point, but he was. He just died, I think, maybe a year or two ago.
James, little known fact: the cast of the Golden Girls, they were in their 40s.
That's great to see. That's why they're still. Oh, Betty White, she's still going. I mean,
That's incredible. Yes, that's incredible. And unfortunately, I hate to tell you that Blondie's Rapture has fallen from number 1.
Oh, I could have had that ready to go.
A Hall & Oates song has hit number 1.
Private Eyes?
No, that's a good one.
Man Eater?
No.
How many Hall & Oates hits do I got? Let's see. You Rich Girl?
No. Wow, but you do know a lot. You claim to be.
Go ahead.
You claim to be into metal. You seem to know a lot about Hall & Oates.
Hall & Oates is metal. Well, Hall & Oates is metal. Oh, he died in 2015. Oh, 2015, 2021.
What's the difference?
Same year.
For us at this point. So even in 2015, he was still alive. Kiss is on my lips.
Oh, because your kiss is on lips.
Yes.
Yeah, I wouldn't have remembered that one.
That's all I've got. So it didn't seem like a very exciting week.
You get all booze.
Yeah.
The crowd was entertained. So, all right. Well, we are now on to sage advice.
Okay.
Which is to as Dan gets ready. Now, here's the thing. I think people should be able to see this while we play along. So I'm going to set it up, and I'm going to try not to read it, if that makes any sense at all. Are you okay with that?
I am okay with that. So yeah, so this is our segment where we read the sage advice questions from Dragon Magazine 40 years ago. So we'll be reading the sage advice questions from the April 1981 issue of Dragon Magazine. James and I are alternating, asking the questions and answering them, and it is my turn to ask the questions, and we see if James is sagacious.
That's a great word.
Do you like that? Because we didn't know what it meant, remember?
That's right.
Like, multiple times.
All right, I'm putting it up there, and now I'm not looking, so I'm looking at you.
This is the segment where you too get to see if you have what it takes to be a sage.
That's right. Sorry. All right. Oh, I still don't have my winner bell. I just have the cash ring. That's good enough.
Are you ready, sir?
I'm ready.
Are you sure?
I'm really not ready, but I'm as ready as I'm ever going to be.
Is your family here with you in the audience?
No. Yes, my wife, Betty. I thought your wife's name is Sabrina. Oh, well, yeah.
Oops. You're here with someone. You're here with Betty. Okay. That's right. All right. It is the 80s. Okay. Question number 1. Dear Mr. Sage, once a character drops a class to switch to another class, can he or she ever gain levels in his or her former class?
Okay, that's a great question. I thought they explained that in the player's handbook, but now
James, you wouldn't. I don't think you wouldn't be wrong. Wait, what makes you think that the fact that it's explained in the player's handbook means people are not writing in for these questions? What have we learned about sage advice?
Yeah, that's true. And I just need to know who is answering the questions.
This one is per curiam, meaning it's unsigned. There is only one that's signed.
Per curiam, that is a great word too.
Okay. There's only one that is signed, and it is by Jim Ward and Will Niebling. But I appreciate, James. Wow, you're serious. You want to know who's answering the questions to get a sense of how they would be responding. You're not kidding around.
Right. Well, I'm going to say this with the most highest due respect to Gene Wells, but if it's Jim and Will, they either are very affirmative and pretty down the middle. Mm-hmm. Jean's a wild card. She could go anywhere. She could go from totally making stuff up to doing it to being to expressing her frustration with not being, basically being talked down to. So that's why I was trying to understand. Got to know who's the ref. Got to know. Okay,
I understand.
So the answer is that I would say is no. You cannot gain experience once you have left that class. You are done.
James, you are absolutely correct. Okay. You're opening a cash register?
I'm making money. I get a class.
Are you working the Circle K while you're there
you go.
The sage is a clerk at Circle K? Okay. No.
I'll give you that.
No. According to page 33 of the player's handbook, quote, no progression in the original class is possible after a character decides to switch to a different profession. No, now this is the only place you screw. No, there's not a screw up at all. You did great, but I'm sensing your style is a little different because sometimes what you want to do is to extend the column because, I assume that Jake Chiquette's going to come to you and say we need more, so you need to also talk about analogous situations which seem similar but are different.
I'm sorry, I'm busy reading. We've got Shannon out there, our dear friend, who's obviously either hitting Wikipedia about per curiam. That means by the court as a whole.
Right. So yeah.
And he's just continuing to go on. The decision is published as a decision of the court with authorship of the decision not indicated.
Thank you. Okay. Yeah. So we've got he's our law clerk.
Right. We got people clerking out here. That's what we need. A Grogtalk clerk. Someone could clerk for us.
Yes. Like an internship thing. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we just do a lot of work for us. Yeah, because the production goblin.
Well, that's what happens. Family business is bad business.
But that's what we'll call it, the production goblin internship program. Don't you think? Maybe they could report to Nico.
Oh, God.
Since he's not working for us anymore.
Uh-oh.
A good resume builder. Note that this is different from a multi-classed character. who holds 2 or more professions simultaneously and gains experience in more than one class at the same time. Also note that only human characters can, quote, drop a class and take up a new one. See, what I like about this answer is they're like, look, if this person's writing in with a question that's in the player's handbook, they obviously don't have it or aren't reading it, so we better let them know some other useful information so we don't get this question next time. Okay. Are you ready for question number 2, sir?
Yes.
Question. First, you gotta love that. Is there a sec? First, I don't see a second. Can clerics or paladins cure themselves by a cure light wound spell or by laying hands on themselves? Oh, here's second. Second, James, this will be a 2-part question.
Okay.
Please don't answer until both questions have been asked. Second, you're taking notes.
I'm gonna have to. It's a lot.
That's right. No wonder people. It's a lot. 2 questions. Second, do you remember Back to School where he's taking the final exam? Like there'll be just one question in 23 parts.
That's right, 23 parts.
Second, do clerics or magic users get experience points for casting spells? I like the fact that this guy his kid is if you're going to write in, you might as well like load it up with all your questions. Okay.
I have one question of 32 parts. Yes.
Oh, I'm going to do that to the gibbering mouther.
Yes, exactly.
One question with 23 parts. Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah. All right.
So
number 1, can
part
clerics?
1 is yes.
Oh, okay. That's all right. All right. Moving on.
Part 1 is yes. Part 2 is you don't get experience directly from casting spells, but because you're doing your job as opposed to doing things that are really questionable in your class, you will be rated highly during your 360 evaluation, or actually not 360 evaluation, your pre-level evaluation meeting with the Dungeon Master.
Very, very good job. Now, I think that you're going to be a little surprised by the answer. You are basically right on the money, right? But the Cure Light one's a little interesting. Ready for this? As stated in the description of the Paladin character class, Player's Handbook, page 22. Again, can you buy a Player's Handbook? Or can you have your mom buy it for you? The Paladin can lay hands on his or her own person or any other character or creature. So, perfect. Yep. No question there. Second, however, the rules of the AD&D game do not specify whether or not the Cure Light Wound spell can be used on the body of the caster. However, the recently revised and expanded rulebook for the Dungeons & Dragons game does specify the Cure Light Wounds, quote, may be cast on the cleric's own body. D&D Basic Rulebook, 1980 edition, page B15.
Bingo.
Wait, yes. But, James, this does not mean that the AD&D version of the spell must be handled. This answer takes twists and turns, doesn't it? This is a roller coaster. This does not mean that the AD&D version of the spell must be handled in the same manner, because there is no direct relationship between the rules for the D&D basic game and the AD&D game. Ultimately, I like how they put a registered trademark next to Dungeons & Dragons in their own magazine. You know, it's your magazine. We know it's yours. I think you should do that. Whatever. Okay, so I can't, so now, of course, I've totally lost. Okay, here we go. Ready for this? So this does not mean that the AD&D version of the spell must be handled in the same manner, because there's no direct relationship between the game. Ultimately, the decision is up to the AD&D Dungeon Master. It would certainly be logical and reasonable to allow the cure spells to heal the spellcaster if the DM wished to allow such activity. So basically, can you imagine saying no? You're the DM. Can I cure light wounds? No. It doesn't say it.
Yeah, that would be, you'd get a big.
Yeah. Okay.
And I don't know why they went through all that. Again, that must have been a Jake Jaquette.
That would be my answer.
Right.
I would write. So yours was yes. This would be mine.
Right. It had references. It had cross promotion. Yeah, that's very good. I mean, that's why you're a corporate man. If you look at page 43 of the Player's Handbook, it says character touched, area of effect. I mean, if you want to be literal, then it can only be characters that could be affected by it.
Does the glossary have a I'll look up character in the DMG.
Right. So you can't help. You can't.
So
I mean, it does imply like monsters, you couldn't heal them, but which there's something to be said about that. But clearly, range is touch, area effect is character touch. Upon laying his or her hand upon a creature, the character is definitely a creature.
Yeah.
So there it allows for creatures. So the cleric causes from 1 to 8 hit points of wound or other damage to creatures to be healed. So
I would tend to agree with you, James. I think, yes. I actually, I got to tell you, I actually like your answer better. Your longer, you should do the longer explanation more. Why stop, James? I like your longer explanation better.
Thank you. I
You're welcome.
that.
Okay, so you did. No one signed that. Okay, let's see how you did a number 2 though, Mr. Sagacity.
Yes.
Okay. Second, there is no provision in the AD&D rules for awarding experience points for the simple casting of spells. There are, however, many unspecified factors which the DM may take into consideration when determining how many points a character has gained. In a particular campaign, it might be quite appropriate for the DM to award experience points for the successful casting of any spell or of certain spells. For instance, just getting off a spell in the manner it was intended might be a noteworthy accomplishment against an opponent with a high degree of magic resistance, and such an accomplishment might indeed be deserving of an experience point bonus. As with so many other questions, the answer lies in the preference of the DM and the conditions presented in his or her campaign. Now, I need to grab. Sorry, I need to go grab. I'm going to grab my reference sheet because James, I liked your answer better here as well. Your answer clearly lines up with the rules, which allows for different levels, right? 1 through 4.
That's right.
So that would right. This answer is actually suggesting awarding experience points. So I would like to. Can you tell another joke? I'll be right back because I've got this sheet, and I talk about experience points. Do we know what are the rules on awarding discretionary experience beyond killing creatures and getting gold?
Before you leave, can you briefly explain between the time we have this show to the next time, do you take every item that you use and scatter it throughout the house?
Yeah, James, this is an excellent question, and I understand why this would create confusion. So what happens is there's this bed, and all my stuff is on the bed. Well, it really shouldn't just sit on the bed. So what I do is I take it from the bed and I put it actually on the floor behind the bed. So if anyone, not that anyone ever comes here, if you looked in the room, it would look fine.
We have made a standing offer. Anyone coming from Asia, if you're coming to Grogtalk from Asia, Dan is going to let you stay at that bed right there.
Right.
It's like a pilgrimage at that point.
Yes. It's like the a mini Grogtalk studio basically at this point, right? It's like a shrine, right? Yeah,
right. It's a pilgrimage. Don't tell your wife or your husband or whoever your spouse is that you're flying halfway around the world to come to some silly convention. You're going on a pilgrimage. You're going to see.
And you can come here and you can say, "Oh my gosh, is that the dice tray that has the cat feces in it?" It is. Oh my God, I can't believe this. This is incredible.
So there you go. I think that's exactly right. So.
Well, what's the rule on experience? Look, we can flip and turn. We can do that too.
We can flip and turn. Well, yes, it's very clear.
What's clear? All right, you look it up. I'll be right back.
Okay, go ahead, look it up.
I collected. I did all the work.
No, go ahead. You've done a lot of work. All right, so Dan is gone yet again. We are looking up how experience is calculated. The options that the Dungeon Masters has. And I'm not sure what he has figured out, but if you go to page 85, or actually 84 of the DMG, under experience.
See, that wasn't that bad. Okay.
The part that the DM does have discretion on at the bottom of page 84 is tricking or outwitting monsters or overcoming tricks or traps placed in guard treasure must be determined subjectively with the level of experience balanced against the degree of difficulty you assign to the gaming of the treasure.
Oh yeah, I see. Page 84, yes. For tricking. So that's tricking or outwitting monsters or overcoming tricks and traps. Well, that's not casting a spell.
Right. It's not casting a spell.
Are there any rules? Is there anywhere? I don't think there's anywhere. Is there?
It talks specifically about Typically, it's gold pieces provides experience points. And then you can adjust the multiple for that. Typically, it's 1-to-1, but it may not be 1-to-1.
But technically, okay, so Player's Handbook, page 106, also says, which I don't think this was overruled, and it's also stated on the AD&D player character record sheets, a rarely used source for information, which I know is not canon. 3 things: treasure gained or taken. 2, opponents captured or slain. 3, solving or overcoming problems through professional means, as you pointed out, including traps evaded, skills used successfully. Do not, so I don't know. I don't see it. I like your answer better. Right? I like your answer better. It's not in any of those 3 categories. And so I think that I'm with you. How well you played your character. I don't know. I like your answer. All right, what would be your ruling then? Is it only those 3? And look, I'm talking about if you're assuming you're playing by the book. I don't mean, hey, the DM can do anything they want. I get that. But if I want to play by the book, because that's what sage advice generally should be. Sage advice shouldn't be you can do anything you want. Then why is it sage advice, right? Sage advice should be, look, if you want to know what the baseline rule is, here's what it is. What would you say? Are you sticking with your answer?
Yes, by the book, yes. You do have an option because they show exceptions. An example on page 85, a party of 12 characters encounters monsters, which again, I love that. Back in the old day, you'd have 12 characters, NPCs, henchmen and characters and hirelings. In the ensuing battle, all characters fight. 2 are slain. Look at that. In one battle, 2 are dead. And the XP for monsters killed total 4,300. Each character gets 430. Adjusted for difficulty and for being actual player characters or half for henchman characters. So that adjusted for difficulty is the latitude that you have if you wanted to add.
Oh, yeah, but that's not I agree with that, but that's not really spellcasting.
No, spellcasting would not be. Clearly it's not there. I'm saying if you wanted to have some discretion, because some people read it just as you get experience for gold and you can manipulate that. You get experience for monsters. That's it. If you outsmart the dungeon, let's say, like in Gnome Skull where they go through the back door and they get all their money, they still got gold piece per XP. We could have said, well, you cheated, or which they did not. But if, let's say, for whatever reason, you didn't think it was fair, you could have reduced their XP count.
Yeah, or you could have increased it.
If you thought you could have doubled it because it was awesome, right?
It's solving or overcoming a problem through professional means.
I agree. So that's the discretion. I think that would be like every time you hit, you get experience points. That's not That's not AD&D.
No, I agree. Okay. Next question. Should a neutral good bard be allowed to backstab?
Of course. It's just like neutral good thieves should be able to backstab. So yes, the answer is yes.
James, you are on fire. The answer is yes. James, still working the Circle K. Since bards have previously acquired thieving experience, they receive benefits on attacking from the rear just as thieves do. A neutral good character would be allowed to backstab under the conditions described above for a chaotic good character anytime the attack is made against a known enemy and not a helpless or homeless victim. James, do you see what happened? Did you hear that last sentence?
Homeless?
Oh, that's terrible. As described above. Where was it described above? Wasn't that in the last Dragon magazine? Somebody asked if a non-thief good character could backstab?
Yes, I think something like that, yeah. So
I think they split.
They split this.
Yes.
Ooh.
Right? Okay.
Can we call Jake Jaquette and find out? That's the question you have to have. Do you remember making that mistake in Dragon, whatever this is, 40-something, 60-something?
We should have a segment. Ask the old guard about the typos and mistakes. That'd be a fun segment, wouldn't it?
Yes, that would be. I'm sure we get a lot. As you can tell, it's really hard. Everyone just wants to fall over and get on our show. They'd love that part. They really love when we go and ask them about their mistakes. I'm sure that would go over well.
Right. So, okay, I love the following question. I would have written this. Ready? In the 9th level magic user spell, Power Word Kill, the spell description states, the power word will destroy a creature with up to 60 hit points, or it will kill 2 or more creatures with 10 or fewer hit points. James, can you already get a sense of where this question is going?
Mm-hmm.
You can, okay. How should the word, quote, destroy be this is my kind of question. I like this guy. How should the word destroy be interpreted? This is like 12-year-old Dan Garmansky. As quote, blown out of existence, or quote, merely killed?
Yes, I will say. I'm hoping they will say it's just dead. That's what you get. They're dead. They stop living.
So is the question like basically, is the victim like the mosquito? You know those rackets? I've got one. I love it. That would just obliterate the mosquito. So are you obliterated? Answer. One way to answer this question is to refer to the description of the 6th level magic user spell, Death Spell. That spell's description states that affected creatures are slain, quote, instantly and irrevocably, close quote, which means without possibility of resurrection. Since Power Word Kill is a more powerful spell than Death Spell, it is reasonable to assume that victims of that spell are also not able to be resurrected.
Wow.
So,
I see. That's interesting. I never would have got that out of that, but let's go. Now I need to look at that. Go.
Okay, and one last sentence. Whether or not they are literally, quote, blown out of existence, close quote, depends on the nature of the creature destroyed. I guess is a giant mosquito. But in any event, victims are not, quote, merely killed. So they are not. So destroyed is given. So I guess is you missed the last question. There's no right answer. It's just they're what they think is reasonable. So apparently they think destroyed is something different than killed. Destroyed means you can't be resurrected, if I'm understanding this correctly.
Well, yeah. Well, and this, I mean, is that the grog line?
Yeah, Rob Ritchie is standing by. Actually, is grog line.
There you go.
Yeah.
I see. I saw his thing. He's ready to come on. So we'll.
He's trying to save it. He sees what's happening.
Yeah. Well, we're at this rate. We'll get to him about 3:30 at this point, I think.
But you should go back to sleep.
No, we will bring him on after this is over, which seems to be taking a while. Well, first of all, we need to go to the DMG. Is there anything on the Coldwater DMG thing?
We talked. Didn't we talk about destroyed? In a very early episode, there was just something about someone is destroyed, and I thought that was so funny. I don't know if we thought it was funny.
Well, it is funny.
The word destroy, because I would think, to me, destroy does mean. I think, you're just, it's like the racket, the electric racket with the mosquito. I think you're just pieces.
Well, but then this makes this death spell, I mean, it's a powerful spell. It makes it ridiculously powerful because it says irrevocably. I assumed irrevocably meant that, for instance, you cast death spell and then someone casts dispel magic after it. Mm-hmm. That the dispel magic would not reverse the death spell. You're still dead. That's what I thought it meant by irrevocably. Okay. Not that it is you cannot cast any other magic to resurrect people. That seems way over the amount.
Well, what's interesting is it's trying to be divided. It seems to me that Gary is dividing this up between. Is it really the intent here to have different effects? Because one is it will destroy a creature with up to 60 hit points, or it's like an option, or you can kill 2 or more with 10 or fewer. So it sounds to me like it's just dividing it up between. Well, do you want the 1, or do you want it with fewer hit points go for the 2? And I wonder if Gary was just simply didn't want to use the same word twice, right? Do you know what I'm saying? So, because wouldn't it be weird that you could obliterate somebody with 60? So you could just kill 2 with 10, but I can blow up 1 with 60. Maybe because I concentrate all of the stuff on. I guess if I concentrate it on one person.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I take this as using biblical text. Forgiving people 7 times 70. That doesn't mean after the 490th time I don't have to forgive someone. I don't think that was the intent of the author. I think the intent of the author was to make this sound super cool.
Yeah, right. So using the word destroy just to mean, yeah, because I agree. I got to tell you, I think I would view destroy as you're like blown to bits before I think destroy somehow means you can't be resurrected. That's wow.
Yeah, I mean, you can make it dramatic that it's like, and they
Right.
blow up, and you can't raise them. But if resurrection says, as long as you have, it basically it comes. You need anything, it'll come back. Just like the reverse destruction causes the victim to be instantly dead and turned to dust. And then you can argue, is dust sufficient enough to bring someone back?
Well, is power word kill? Does it look like it's simply meant to be a more powerful death spell?
Well, it's definitely more powerful because it's regardless of hit dice.
So
you could be 20 hit dice creature. If you're under 60 hit points, you're dead. If you don't have magic resistance.
Yeah, I'm sorry, sir. You're destroyed.
That's right.
Give
me a character sheet into the fire. That's
right.
It. Or
right.
you could hit it symbolically with the swatter.
Right.
Just put it up on the wall and hit it.
Or you could take a restroom break. Give me that character sheet. I'll be back. You come back 5 minutes later. Where's the character sheet? Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
That thing's done. So what are we going to do here? We were so close to finishing up this segment, and then this happened.
Well, we're done. We're done with it.
Well, wait, what's the answer?
What's the answer is it's DM discretion. You've heard it every other time. They said, I don't agree that you cannot be resurrected. If they're saying destroyed means literally you're obliterated and there's nothing left of you, then yes, you could not be resurrected because resurrection implies that you have some part of the body left to raise. So you would have to say they get zapped out of existence. And short of a wish, you would not be able to bring them back.
There's nothing in the DMG.
I didn't see anything in the DMG, but I didn't look under power word kill, to be perfectly honest.
Boy, it's a short one, power word kill. When a power word kill is uttered, one or more creatures within spell range or your effect will be slain. So it also leaves out that too. It just says the first sentence says will be slain. The power word will destroy a creature without. You could argue that destroy is really just being used there as slain because it already says slain.
Where are you looking at?
I'm at power word kill spell, page 93, player's handbook.
Oh, player's handbook. Okay.
Oh, sorry. No, I was going to the player. I had to start with that because I don't even know the spell. Yeah, the option to attack a single creature must be stated. Okay. Yeah, I gotta tell you, I think destroyed means just kill. I don't think it means obliterate. I don't feel like I've got enough evidence that would be significant enough that you think that it would have been stated more precisely.
Right, because some people are talking about disintegrate. Well, here's my counter argument to why it should not be disintegrate and death spell combined. Because now you're basically taking death spell, which again, this is why I did not equate irrevocable to mean you could never undo it. It was irrevocable from the fact dispelling the magic would not bring them back to life, because that doesn't make any sense. But
it looks to me, what level is death spell?
Death spell is 6th level.
Okay, I got to tell you though, it seems to me irrevocable means you can't be resurrected ever.
Yeah,
that's the way I would.
That would be. Now that becomes the most powerful spell ever. If I'm the big bad guy and there's a bunch of jabronis, I'm just death spelling them.
Why is power word kill better than?
Because there's no hit dice limit, and death spell creatures have to be X hit dice. So.
Oh, I see. There's a little chart there. I thought it was a different spell. I see. There's different. When it slays creatures in the air instantly. That's interesting. It doesn't say you're killed instantly under power word kill. When are you killed?
It's implied, but yes.
Okay. Well, so sage advice. All right. So sage advice has said, I guess I would follow sage advice here because I don't have strong thoughts one way or another. So okay, so the question is power word kill irrevocable? And I'm sorry, have you reached a conclusion on that? Oh wait, you don't even like the irrevocable on resurrection on. Wow,
I've always interpreted.
Wow. Okay.
It says duration instantaneous, so I assume what's the duration on power word kill?
The duration is permanent.
So that's different than instantaneous.
What?
So there's the other thing. So that's why I think irrevocable is there. It's to say that it's permanent.
You're permanently killed.
You're permanently killed, but because you're dead. There is no. It doesn't. Your death doesn't. It's not sleep spell. It's death. You're dead.
But I think you're dead. You're dead. So we're gonna have to disagree on this. I'm going with. You can never be resurrected. Look, big deal. Come on, elves can't be resurrected. Half-orcs can. It's not that big a deal, is it?
But that,
a new character,
a 6th level magic user spell shouldn't be more powerful than a 7th level cleric spell. That's my take on it.
Oh.
Number 1.
What's the 7th level cleric spell?
Resurrection.
Well.
I just think it meant dead. They're dead. So you can't cast a spell magic or anti-magic spell or something else that says they're dead because the spell is on it. No, they're dead. That's just the thing. But okay, that's fine.
Okay.
But the other thing was disintegrate. Now disintegrate, you're dead because your body was disintegrated. And if power word kill worked that way, then there would be death spell added with disintegrate. That's like a 12th level spell. There are no 12th level spells, so I reject that as well.
Yeah, I don't like. Yeah, I wish you like splattered because that would be cool. But I agree with you. So the resurrection, the cleric employing this spell is able to restore life, increase strength.
Now I did it.
You did it.
Oh God!
Strength to the person he or she. I don't know. Okay. Hey, look at this. There's destroyed is in here at the end. Employment of this spell makes it impossible for the cleric to cast further spells or engage in combat until he or she has had 1 day of rest for each level experience of the person brought back to life or destroyed. What is going on? Destroyed appears in that one too.
Well, destroyed says when it's destroyed, you're making that person dust. They go, and they become a thing of dust under destruction.
Where do you get that from?
It's the reverse of resurrection. There's a reverse of resurrection.
Oh. It is reversible. Yes, okay.
Right now, there are about how many people? 15 people screaming at their screens at you, Dan, going...
Move on?
No, read...
The reverse destruction causes the victim... So now the question becomes, does destroy mean turn to dust? So there is evidence that destroy means... So the resurrection spell is support for the use of the word destroy meaning turn to dust.
Right.
Wow.
So okay, if you turn to dust, that's fine. It implies, it doesn't say there. Everything else, the history is, if you cast light and you cast darkness, they cancel each other out, or you revert back to the state that you were at. So if you cast destruction, as long as you have dust, I would say you could do resurrection. That's my take on it.
Well, is resurrection discussed? Surely resurrection is discussed in the DMG,
no,
isn't it?
I'm sure it wasn't discussed.
Okay.
I'm sure it's silent because this is fun.
Well, what's interesting is, why don't they just go ask Gary? I never understand these sage advice answers where they don't know the answer. Sir, and they don't ask, is Gary just out of town? And
you know the answer to this. It's part of the career development. It's part of their performance goals.
Right.
You need to do X. You need to do X sage advice without contacting Gary.
Right. I can't hold your hand.
Right.
Resurrection and aging. Spells of Resurrection 1553. What's that all about?
Well, there's aging. You get aged if you cast Resurrection, which again we've talked about potential system shock because you're aging, which people don't like. They really hate that.
I don't know. Now I don't know what to think. Now I think there is no answer, and now it really is. I got to tell you, now I'm tempted to say, destroy means destruction per the cleric spell in your dust.
That's fine.
Okay.
Because then you can still, in my opinion, you can raise them.
Oh, that's
resurrection says you don't need. That's right. Resurrection, you don't need any part of the body because you can go back and bring someone back. It's basically, well, that's what Rob is saying, and that's what I remember. I don't.
Where's that come from, though?
I don't remember.
The cleric employing So area effect is person touch.
This is so first edition.
So you need a person. So you're just doing random ones, throwing them in there. The cleric employing this spell is able to restore life and complete strength to the person he or she bestows the resurrection upon. The person can have been dead up to 10 years, can blah, blah, blah. See raised dead for limitations on what persons can be raised. The verse destruction causes the victim spell to be instantly dead and turned to dust. Destruction requires a touch, either in combat or otherwise. The material components of the spell are cleric's religious symbol and holy water, or unholy water. Employment of the spell makes it impossible for cleric to cast further spells or engage in combat until she has 1 day. Okay, I'm not seeing it in resurrection. Is it in raised dead? And so we think that's...
No, raised dead, you definitely have to have the body. And if the body's jacked up, it doesn't work. Here, again, if you want to be literal, it says area effect, person touched.
Right.
Now, clearly, if you're 109 years old, if you've been dead for 150 years, it's going to restore some of the body. So you would think you would need some part of it, but the material components of the spell say the symbol and holy or unholy water.
So you're bones at that point, aren't you?
Right. If you're 190 years old, you're bones anyway. So it would restore. It's gonna bring the body back.
What age am I? Like, am I
the age where you were before when you
right
died.
When I died?
Right. Because you can't be less. You can't be more than your maximum age, or else you'd be dead.
Okay. I think what I was thinking of is speak with dead, where like you can have any part of the body, can't you?
Yes.
Okay. All right, so I don't know what we've decided. So I've decided that it's...
we've decided we don't play we don't play high-level campaigns, and that's how we get around it.
Yeah, I'm gonna say destroy means destruction, you're dust, but you can be resurrected. Wait, how much did you say you need to resurrect somebody, or do you think?
I think it says creature touched. You have to have some part of the creature to touch.
Any part? Fingernail.
I would say yes.
Okay.
That's back to the troll. If a troll can come back to life with literally one little atom of him or her,
okay,
why can't that? Is someone else in the grog line?
Oh, let me see. Maybe.
All right. Is there any more questions?
No. That is it. No, you have completed your stint as the sage. Very, very well done, sir.
I did, and that was contentious, and here's what I like about it, and it goes back to your attitude as the DM on death. Do you want death to be hard and permanent? Great. Then go with the death spell. Gone.
Yeah.
Totally obliterated, and you can only bring him back with a wish. If you want it to be, it's not so bad, then you could do those other things.
Okay. All right.
How's that?
Fair enough. Yeah. So the last question was the toughest.
It was, and it was a good one. That was good. So, what I think we're gonna do is let's do miscellaneous magic, and then we'll bring Rob on for flipping turning, and then we'll do random encounter and have you ever played a bard? How's that sound?
That sounds great, because I know we've got you've brought up a very controversial proposition for random encounters that was probably going to require a lot of discussion.
Right, and Rob, I think, has a life. He wants to do that. So
he needs to get back to flipping and turning.
Right. He has a lot going on with the magazine. The empire that is the magazine. Okay. I'm ready for some dice rolling.
Okay, I'm flipping, I'm turning. Oh, I gotta go far back, don't I? Yeah, miscellaneous in the hundreds. Okay, sorry. I'm flipping, I'm turning. I really should dog-ear this stuff. Okay.
Well, at least you have your DMG there. People were saying, does he literally have everything he needs now in front of him? That's what they were asking.
Only time will tell. Okay, do you want to roll it?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
42.
Rods, staves, and wands, sir. I'm going to.
Nice.
Do you know what letter table that is?
No, I have no idea.
It is D. We're on 3D on page 122. This is a segment where we randomly roll a magic item and discuss it. Okay, so this should be good because it's a rod, staff, or wand. It's not a +1 dagger. Okay, I need percentile dice, sir.
7.
7. Rod of Cancellation.
Ooh, this one's a good one.
I don't know anything about this. Who can use it, James? Any idea?
Anyone.
You're absolutely correct. Anyone can use the Rod of Cancellation. So I like to get This is interesting. You get 10,000 XP for it, which is definitely on the high side. It's one of the few, but then its gold piece sale value is on the low side.
Yes.
It's only 15th. Okay, I don't understand that, but maybe I'll learn. All right.
You're going to learn something very interesting about the rod. So what do we know about rods, stabs, and wands? If you listen to Flipping and Turning, not Flipping and Turning, if you listen to our show, I forgot when we did it. It was a while ago. We went over rod, staves or stabs and wands. And what did we learn? They have charges, right? That's what make their consumable items.
They have charges, and if I recall correctly, don't let it go to 0, then it's done.
It's done.
Right?
So wands have the most typically. They can have up to 100. Rods can have up to 50. Staves or stabs can have up to 25. There is an exception to that, and this is one of. There is exceptions to that, and this is one of them. The rod of cancellation.
Wait, is it? So I need to know now. You just can't, James. You can't just go forward. You just can't ignore the elephant in the room. Is it staves or stabs? I've already had this Donna. I thought it was Donna Shalala, but apparently the former politician is Donna Shalala. So what is it? Staves or stabs?
I say I like stabs.
I like
say staves.
I like stabs, but you were saying staves.
Well, because I'm sure someone's going to correct us. Because I'm sure somewhere in the empire someone doesn't like it.
Okay. Do you need the word?
Hold
hold
on. I got it. Thank you, sir. Hold on. People are being super helpful.
Oh, the clerk. Our clerks?
Yes. That's people trying to intern. They're like, oh, the Sage advice is still on. We can't see you. So.
Yes, because how you do with things like this will influence whether we select you for. We have very limited openings for the internship.
Right. That's right. And you would have to come down here to Florida to do it.
In my room.
That's right. You'd be staying. Hey.
Yeah. Hey. Yeah. The applications are going to flood in. We should post this on Zillow or something.
Right. Well, Craigslist or something.
Craigslist. Okay. Ready for the rod of cancellation?
Yes.
Oh, I like this. Do you need wands? You need like that. People don't play this a lot, but you need the magic word, don't you?
Yeah, you have to have a command word typically.
Do you need the command word for a staff too?
It should, yes. I always play that.
Well, wait, yes, but we are on a rod. Okay, sorry, I started reading about rods in general. This dreaded rod is a bane to all.
That's what they call a lot of people. The dreaded rod. Never mind.
Yes, the dreaded rod. Where are you laying the pipe? Not the dreaded rod. Is a bane to all classes, for its touch will drain any item of all magical properties unless a saving throw versus the cancellation is made. This is horrible. So you mean so he could be walking through, so the mad wizard, the wizard in the marketplace, could be walking through the marketplace with a rod of cancellation. He's just touching a bunch of magic items?
Yeah, sorta. Right.
Okay.
This is so first edition.
Oh, you do have to make a hit. Contact is made by scoring a normal to hit score in combat melee. But I can break into your house. So let's say I'm a magic user thief.
Right.
I break into your house, and I just touch a bunch of items. Because I'm going to hit automatically. Yeah. So, all right. So, saving throw. Oh, this is what so there's an item saving throw for the item. Several miscellaneous weapons, several small items such as magic arrows or bolts together in one container will be drained simultaneously. Oh, this is horrible. If the score indicator or higher is not rolled, the item is drained. So what they're saying is the dreaded rod will be drained? Oh no, the item is drained.
The item is drained, yep.
Right. Upon the item's draining, the rod itself becomes brittle. Oh, and it's no longer potent. Wait, upon the item's draining, the rod itself becomes brittle and is no longer potent. Drained items. Oh, see, I see what you're saying. You don't have charges with this. I get one use.
Exactly.
Oh, drained items are not restorable. Oh, even by wish. That's kind of cool. Okay. So, all right. Yeah, that's interesting. So, who do parties tend to have this and use it, or do DMs use this in an evil way that the baddie has it? What do I do with this? When does it? Have you had erotic cancellation?
They give them out. I'm not sure who makes them, because again, your point is it's like this single death weapon for magic items.
Oh, they give them out. You mean it's like a charity function, like like they're having a charity function for like widows of first level adventurers who died, and it's like, okay, and next we'll be bidding on it's a rod of cancellation.
Silent auctions for the rod of cancellation.
Yes. Yeah. Okay.
I have used it as the kind of the Hail Mary pass to destroy a powerful wizard or whatever. They're like, for instance, not like an artifact, Lord of the Ring artifact where you have to throw it into Mount Doom, but something underneath it. Like the wizard's got a powerful staff, and he's going to cast, and he can cast fireballs from it. Here's your chance to neuter it before he kills you all. That's the idea.
That's interesting.
Or or an ancient temple or something that you can't get through the door. This is the way you could get through it.
I see. So maybe you know that's going to happen, and so you've sought out erotic cancellation, or your patron has given you erotic cancellation. Yeah, that would be fun to have an adventure where you've got to use it on an evil artifact like the ring.
Yeah.
And then at the very end, so it all comes down to, you do all this combat, you survive, and it all comes down to whether or not you get a 1 or a 2
right
on a saving throw roll, because the artifact or relic. Wow, so that's one way. There's a discussion, isn't there, about destroying artifacts or relics? But here's another way. I mean, I maybe mentioned there. So yeah, the rod of cancellation will do it.
Yes.
I like this.
If the DM allows that to happen. It doesn't have to necessarily. Just like it says artifacts on saving throws for magic items will need a 2 to save, or something ridiculous like that. But again, if you allow that to happen, let's say there's the ring, right?
Why wouldn't I allow that to happen? It says artifact or relic.
Well, because typically it says for artifacts, to make it a story, you have to go to Mount Doom and throw it into the thing, or create 30 rods of cancellations. Beep, didn't work. Beep, didn't work. That's a little anti-dramatic. If
you're going in there.
If Frodo and Samwise are just standing in front of Gandalf and they just keep trying the rods of cancellation, that don't work. Because remember, it doesn't discharge until it's successful. So you can just keep doing it.
Oh, that had not sunk in. If the score indicator higher, wait. So wait, okay, hold on a second. Do we know this? The shredded rod is the bane of all blah blah blah. For its touch will drain any item of all magic parties unless a saving throw versus a cancellation is made.
Right.
I don't know. Couldn't you rule? It doesn't actually say that. Couldn't you rule that if it makes a save, it makes the save forever? Or you think because you think it's like you're in combat and you're like trying to hit each time and
yeah. I mean, if that's the case, then you say, I survive a fireball, I never have to make a saving throw for a fireball again. No.
Oh, so if the score indicator higher is not rolled, the item is drained. Upon the item's draining, the rod becomes brittle, is no longer potent. Oh, that's boring. It should be. It gets one shot. It is like one. It should have a charge, and anytime if you don't hit, that shouldn't be it. But if you hit and it makes it save, it should be over. That's the way I would play it. That's my rod of cancellation.
Well, now you should join Sage Advice, because you're just making stuff up. So that's
I am. Oh yeah, well, that'd be very boring. Oh, I don't know. That can't actually. I don't know. Isn't that a reasonable reading of it? Because otherwise, yeah, you're right. Unless you you just keep trying the rod of cancel. Well, oh yeah, when it's drained, not when it's hit. Okay, good point. Boy.
That would change Lord of the Rings, and then they acquire the ring and they bring it to Elrond, and he spends about an hour.
Yeah, the eagle. Yeah, that's right. You don't need the eagle to take it to Mount, because that's usually what people argue. It's just, here it is. It would end that would be fine with me. It ends at the Council of Elrond.
Right.
You're right. Yeah, bring out the rod of cancellation. Bring out the rods, and then a wheelbarrow comes out and there's like a line. for who gets to be the one to do it. It's like, all right, come on, let's give Frodo first try.
That's
Frodo
right.
is like, right.
Well, but as someone on the comments says, I think it mentioned that if you destroy something that was created by the gods, they may be a little unhappy with you after that. So maybe.
Oh, then you're destroyed. Pew!
Yeah, you may get killed as well.
Destruction. They'll cast power word kill on you, and you'll be destroyed.
It's like being banned from Twitter. You know, you're banned. That's it. You can't come back. There's no resurrection from it. So anyway, it's pretty cool, but I would not allow it to happen.
It was cool till you ruined it.
There you go.
Yeah, you ruined it, James. I was ignorance is bliss. I was like, hey, this rod's pretty cool. You can use it on an artifact. Yeah, this is awesome. And then you ruined it.
But you don't have to ruin it. You could say that it's a one-shot deal. It just doesn't say that. You could say when it touches the artifact that it disintegrates. You know, either like you said, it's like the Clash of the Titans, the artifact versus the rod, and the one time it hits it, and after that it blows up. So.
No, I don't care anymore. I've moved on.
That was good. All right. Rob says he's fine chilling, so we can keep on going.
Oh.
I like that.
He might actually be a fan of the show.
No, I think he's told me he loves when you and I say things that he has to yell at. So I'm sure he's probably screaming at us.
Shalala.
I'm always going to say Shalala. I don't know
Absolutely.
her. I don't know her well. But I would have said Shalala for the weapon, which I know now is Shillelagh.
No, for the weapon we say Shalala, and we say Donna Shillelagh. This should really make him angry.
Right, do completely backwards.
Right. What do you mean? That's right. What do you mean backwards? Okay.
So
what's next?
We're going to do random encounter.
Okay.
Now, for those who have never listened to the show, random encounter is where we take a random monster out of one of the three approved monster books, Monster Manual 1, Monster Manual 2, Fiend Folio. We roll in the tables and figure it out. Typically, the winner comes back the next week and fights the challenger, correct? That's how we've been doing it. For last, I don't know, almost halfway through the pandemic, it feels like, the Basilisk has been the king. He has slain, I assume it's he, could be a she, I'm being a little presumptuous, has slain all comers, either through outright murdering them or making them stoned. Last week we did our annual, although it's no more because we've said there's been peace and reconciliation. The bunny and the Vorpal bunny and the King Arthur's knights have come to terms, and I'm not sure if they're going to come back again next year. So we didn't play the Basilisk. So the question is this the opportunity to retire the Basilisk and have two new challengers? And I say yes.
Well, Jay,
the Basilisk.
Well, I think that we should, and we could. Have we retired anyone as an undefeated champion?
We have.
So there's precedence for this.
Yes.
The Rocky Marciano rule.
Yes, we have, and you're gonna. I forgot.
No, you don't need to look it up. I mean, it's just so I believe you. I think the Basilisk should save versus death, and I think the Basilisk gets a roll. Shouldn't the Basilisk get a?
So you're changing what?
Getting better. James,
well, because we've never done that for anyone else. We've just said, hey, we just retired. The other person we retired, they got. Which one was it? Was it the black pudding? No, the black pudding survived.
Was it the giant ant?
No, the giant ant did not.
0 victories.
All right, who knows who we retired? Someone I will be forever thankful if they remember who we retired, because I don't recall.
It probably is time to retire. Well, what does the Grog Empire think about? Is there any sort of... All right.
Do we really want to know what the Grog Empire thinks about us? Do you really? Is that what you want to hear?
The Grog Empire sleeps. The sun never rises on the Grog Empire.
Because they're always sleeping.
Exactly. Okay. Yeah, we should probably retire. You know, it's that...
I don't mind doing the save versus death. I'm sorry. I mean, you should. That's
all right. Let's do save versus death then.
But I'm sure we have. Yeah, okay. Maybe it was the angel. Didn't we? The diva? Didn't we retire the diva? Thank you.
I hated that diva. Such a diva.
She was a diva. So
yeah.
I think the diva, you literally had enough because she was just. So.
See, no, okay, all right, no, James, this is going to make sense.
Mm-hmm.
The Basilisk is in the Monster Manual, correct?
Yes.
A truly sacred text.
It is. It is the text. The other ones are derivative works. They're like the apocryphal or whatever.
Exactly. They're spin-offs.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that if you're a monster that is in the sacred text, the Monster Manual, you deserve before retire. I mean, the dice have to tell you to retire.
Right.
That's consistent then, because this has never happened before. We've never sought to retire a monster from the Monster Manual.
Yes, I think you're right.
Okay. So, all right. What is the you got your DMG? Save versus death, which is really death magic, yes?
Yes, there is no save versus death. There's
not.
As far as I know.
There's not.
Because you can't look. Why isn't that in the Sage Advice? Hey, I saw save versus death, and I went to the Monster DMG and I didn't find it.
Why? And even I think in Dragon's Foot with the Q&A with Gary, no one asked about that -4 business, which is convenient. There's some things which is so sad that we just never got answered. But we have the Gibbering Mouther now.
We do. Way better.
Gibbering Mouther. Sorry.
I like either one. So
Shalala.
So you need a 10.
10 in the Basilisk is basically like I'm hanging around. I'm gonna stay. Okay.
Yep.
It's a 13. All right.
All right. The Basilisk is here yet again. Well, though I think we're gonna have to save every time now.
Yes, I agree with that. With a minus each time. -1.
And that should be the rule going forward.
Okay. I agree. I like that.
But going forward, the champion, because this is survival of the fittest. So the new rule. Hold on. Got to write this down because we will forget. The new rule is after 3 times. If they win 3 times, then champion 3 times, then save versus death.
And then -1 each time thereafter, or -2? What do you think?
-2.
Okay. Well, as you know, I've suggested we actually do that for our show each time.
Well, we're getting close. We're getting close to having to save versus, right? We should roll that right in the beginning. Hi, welcome to Grogtalk. Oh, okay, we're done. Thank you.
That's it. One always fails.
That's all right.
Okay, so we are now rolling for the. And you know what would be great though, is if this turned out to be like Buster Douglas versus Mike Tyson episode. If in this episode, after all this talk, the Basilisk goes down, that would be amazing, wouldn't it?
Right.
That could happen. Okay, James, would you like to do the Dorso roll?
I would like to Dorso roll.
Yeah, because I get to do all the rolling. You don't.
5.
That's Monster Manual 2, correct?
Yeah, it is Monster Manual 2.
I am grabbing.
And you shared the secrets. You provided the Enigma code to Rob on how you glean the monsters out of Monster Manual 2 and Fiend Folio. He was duly impressed.
Well, and he sent it to me to confirm that it's correct, and I really don't want to. I'm really tempted to just say, yes, it's correct without reading it. It's so long. Okay, James, I need you to roll a D10.
1.
We are in a dungeon.
That's shocking.
Oh, okay. Now I need you to roll. You're rolling the monster level out of 10, and you know, James, we want a high level if we have any shot here, right?
5. We're in the ballpark. We're in the ballpark.
That's not bad. Well, you don't want somebody to. If you get a 10, then you just have another Basilisk business again, right?
It's meet the new boss, same as the old boss. Exactly.
Boy, the Fiend Folio really does not get a lot of play here. Okay, roll the 8-sided and a 12-sided, please.
Okay, so we're in the Monster Manual 2, right? That's right.
We're in the monster, right? Weren't we supposed to be?
That's right. 9.
A cave bear.
Oh, a cave bear.
What do you guys think about that?
We like the cave bear, but we also think
Oh, God!
Jay's going to get owned by the
Basilisk. No, this would be awesome. I'm so rooting for the cave. Well, I am the cave bear, so obviously I'm rooting for the cave bear.
And I'm going to one time, only because I've lost my mind. Where is the cave bear in, Dan, for those who are playing at home?
The cave bear is on page 9 of the Monster Manual 1.
Oh, good. So it's original text.
It's got one of my favorite pictures there, which is this beetle is chasing this. It looks like a cockatrice. Might be a chicken. And the guy's standing behind the tree hiding.
Is that the stag beetle or the rhinoceros beetle?
Well, you got me there. See, I didn't want to say because I wasn't sure. I don't know which one it is. But, man, that thing's enormous. Mm-hmm. Well, it's clearly – that thing is the largest. That's got to be That might be a rhinoceros beetle. It's at least a stag beetle.
Yeah.
I think it's probably stag beetle. They're common. And don't stag beetles, are they the ones that like crops?
I love how they're common. They're
Grains. Oh, I know. That's so scary. We've talked about that. And they like grains and singular crops. So, yeah, I think that's probably a stag beetle that is chasing that poor chicken.
The little man on page 9. It looks like he's behind the tree, or he's trying to hide in the shadows.
Look how little. Is that his house?
Yes, that's his
It's so
house.
small.
Yeah,
that's
pretty ridiculous.
Why is he behind the tree? I would be behind the house. And he's not going to save his chicken?
No. That's a cockatrice. He's not saving the cockatrice.
We should do the cockatrice versus stag beetle. Okay. Cave bear. Oh, wait, are you looking at it?
Oh, I'm not supposed to. Okay.
You're
sorry.
not. Okay, cave bear. Common, uncommon, what is it? Frequency.
I would say uncommon.
You're right, but you looked. Number appearance.
I did look. I can't. So good.
You cannot tell a lie.
Yeah.
All right, I'll just go through. We'll just go through this. But no, wait, something good is coming. I see hugs.
It does.
That
hug.
sounds
it's like
good.
an owlbear. That's right.
That sounds nice. 1 to 2 appearing. AC 6. 12-inch move. Wow, 6+6 hit dice. Oh, so cave bears are pretty nasty.
Mm-hmm.
They're never percent in lair. Nil. But they're a cave bear. Well, I guess I'll find out.
They're in someone else's cave.
Yeah, what's that all about? Their man cave. So no treasure. 3 attacks. Oh, this is ugly. 1 to 8, 1 to 8, 1 to 12. So the cave bear is clearly the worst of the bears to face.
Yes. It's like that Leo DiCaprio movie where he's fighting the bear. I don't know.
Oh.
You know what I'm talking about.
No, I know BJ and the bear.
Oh, that's...
Is there like a beaver in there? See, you're just doing random ones. Have nothing to do with what we're talking about. 2 to 16 on hugs. No special defenses. They are semi-intelligent. Oh, so they're above animal. That's nice. They are 12 feet plus tall. Their alignment is neutral, as it should be. All of these ursoids? That sounds like a Shakespeare
That's a great
female
word.
character, doesn't it? Ursoid? Or the ursoids. That's a meteor shower. Are omnivorous. Although the gigantic cave bear tends toward a diet. Yes, a diet of meat, my friend. Yes, boys. Basilisk is on the menu.
What I also find ironic is, of course, that the basilisk is the one right before cave bear.
Yes.
They're right next to each other. This is like neighbors fighting.
This has been waiting to happen for 40 years.
That's right. They're finally tired of each other.
Yes.
They're going to settle there. I'm tired of my neighbor. I'm going to go take him out.
Hey, James, take a look at the basilisk.
He's looking over there.
Aha. Made you look at the basilisk. Yeah.
No, God!
James
is
good. James, are you stoned? Okay. Size shown. All have excellent hearing and smell. Oh, James, but rather poor eyesight. Is that going to play a role? I have poor eyesight. Does that affect anything? Like, I have poor eyesight.
You know what? I'm going to give you a save because you can't see the gaze. How's that?
Yes.
I'm going to give you a bonus to your save. It's right.
It's a blur.
Even though it shouldn't have anything to do with it, I'm going to give you that.
Oh, now it made it save, and you're punishing the basilisk for making it save. Okay. And I also have excellent hearing and smell. So I want to say, why does it not say that I'm not often surprised then? I should rarely be surprised. Don't you agree?
Well, I think you'd have a better chance against invisible things, but if you can't see, that's one of your main... All 3 things need to be well to be rarely surprised.
Well, that's true. It does kind of offset that. You smell something? Okay. The grizzly bear, size shown as average for variety. Larger individuals will be more powerful. Wow. The grizzly bear is a brown bear, very aggressive disposition. Black bears are usually not aggressive. Brown bears are, and cave bears are quite aggressive. If a bear scores a paw hit with an 18 or better, and I got 2 of those, it also hugs for additional damage as indicated. So I only need, because I have claw, bite. So I only need 1 of my 2 paws needs to hit with an 18 or higher, and I get a hug?
You get a hug. You give out hugs.
I would have thought that I needed to do both hits with paws.
That's how it is with the owlbear, if I recall.
Oh, and it doesn't say it here, though.
Yeah, this is better. So when they did the mutant owlbear, it wasn't as powerful as the regular bear. Just So that's typical magic user, taking something natural and making it worse.
No, no. The owlbear says if it scores a paw hit of 18 or better with either of its forelimbs, the owlbear has dragged the victim to itself. Oh, I got it. And the owlbear will take an additional 2 to 16 points of damage from the hug. Oh, so I think that's what's happening. Is I pull you into me with the claw, so that's why it's just 1. I think.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so it is the same. I thought it was different. Oh, that's cool.
No, it is the same, but I'm glad you thought it was different because it caused me to look it up and it seemed to explain what's going on here. If a bear so if I'm hugging you, man, you can't. Well, I don't need to talk about things that haven't happened yet, but you shouldn't be able to look at me. It's not like I'm kissing you when I'm hugging you. If a bear scores a paw hit, okay. It also hugs for additional damage. The brown and cave bears will continue to fight. For 1 to oh my gosh, it's like the what is it? The boar, giant boar.
That's right, the giant boar.
For 1 to 4 melee rounds after reaching 0 to -8 at 9 or greater, they are destroyed. No, killed.
That's right.
They're destroyed. Boo. They are killed immediately. This is going to be a lot of fun, actually. I've got some hopes
No, it's
here.
not going to be fun. It's going to be
No,
you're going to fail your save, and it's going to be the end of it. So
I've got a puncher's chance, and we also need a pawers chance, and we also need to look up Basilisk, don't we?
Yeah, just
have that ready to go.
For the gaze rule. All right.
Oh look, I have it. Dog-eared. Okay. All right, sir. What? Were we rolling for surprise?
For surprise. That's right. So hopefully you will get surprise.
You're rooting against yourself.
That's right. 5. Well, because I agree with you. We're going to move on. I rolled a 5.
I rolled a 4.
Okay, no one's surprised. Let's look at distance. Ooh, we are 80 feet away from each other.
Okay.
We're in a dungeon.
80 feet away. Yeah, we're coming around the corner.
So, it's initiative. Declare. What are you going to do?
I'm very aggressive.
Right.
So I guess, wait, I don't even, wait. Yeah, but wait a second. I have poor eyesight? I mean, wouldn't I be like, something's up there? But I don't even know what it is.
You smell that. You heard the lizard, the basilisk slithering. You're hungry for basilisk flesh.
You're like playing me. All right, you convinced me. All right, fine. I'm very aggressive. I smell a basilisk. I've been smelling you for 40 years.
Right. 44 years at this point.
44 years. I'm over it. I'm charging.
That's right. Good. I will not charge. I'm going to
parlay.
I'm going to roll my reaction roll. Oh, I love you. 98. I'm going to
yes.
I want to be hugged by you. I'm going to stand there.
You're going to turn around. You're back toward me.
Hey.
You're killing me.
Oh, that's not.
Where are you laying the
pipe? Oh, no. We're not having bear on basilisk action here. That's not.
No, I was suggesting that you are going to basically kill yourself. All right, let's go. Kill yourself.
All right, initiative.
Okay.
6.
2.
Let's see if roll a d10 to see if you meet my gaze as you're charging towards me.
Oh yeah. So I have a 12-inch movement.
Yeah, you're gonna make it there.
I'm in a dungeon. That's 120 feet. I'm gonna make it there. That's all right.
But if you survive the gaze attack.
Okay. So yeah, you just see this very large,
aggressive,
angry, aggressive,
slightly
very aggressive,
unable to see bear, right? Okay.
Yes, lunging at you. Okay. So I am attacking normally.
First a d10 to see if your gaze attack.
Right. That's what I meant. Right. So it's the 3 and 10, the attacking normally.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Here we go. 3.
All right. So you have met the basilisk gaze. Now you need to make a saving throw, and I'm going to give you a +2 because of your poor eyesight.
You're taking this better than I thought.
So you need against petrification. You need a 9.
Okay. A 10.
All right, you survived the gaze attack. Congratulations.
Even with wait, did the bonus make the difference or did it not?
Yes, it made the difference. You would need an 11.
A controversial segment of.
It's okay. Well, now make your to hit roll.
Random encounter.
It's not controversial. That's interpreting the thing. Poor eyesight. I'm making that ruling.
Okay. There has to be some benefit to poor eyesight.
Right. Okay, so your 6 hit dice, you're charging.
17, sir.
Well,
do I get +2 for charge?
You do. You hit.
Yes.
But you
wait. Do I do 3? I do 3. Don't I do 3?
I give you your 3 attacks, absolutely.
Yeah, why wouldn't I? That's not discretionary, is it?
Well, some people would argue the charge, typically you're charging with a weapon So.
Oh, that's an interesting question. Can a cave bear use the charge rules?
It doesn't say It doesn't say people can't charge. So.
Okay.
So I'm going to allow it. So yeah, roll again. Now if you roll an 18, I'm rolling natural 18 that you need. So roll again.
I would agree with that. I got a 13. That's a bummer. So what did I need to hit? I'm 6 plus 6.
You need a 7.
Wow. What's your? Oh yeah, your AC is only 4. So I hit, but I did not hug. I'm not hugging. 2 hits so far, and a 12. So I have 3 hits.
All right. So roll 2d8 plus a d12. While you do that, I'll roll the Basilisk's hit dice because I don't know if we ever did that. I'm sure we did. Let me look it up before I re-roll it.
Wow, I just did a lot of damage. These things are nasty.
Yeah, they're like the wild boar.
Yeah, but worse.
But worse. Okay, yeah, the diva was recently. That's why we couldn't. The diva was like in Halloween, and we're like, oh, the diva. We couldn't remember it. This Basilisk hasn't been here as long as we thought. He started episode 70. Yeah, 74 we retired the diva.
Oh, okay.
And 75 the Basilisk. So this is this is the 6th episode.
Okay. So we could have had a Basilisk versus the diva. Okay.
We could have, but we retired it.
Well, we may still in the Battle of Champions.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
We know the Basilisk is coming back. I mean, Basilisk is clearly making the Battle of Champions. Yeah,
they're. You know what? We never did damage to this Basilisk. I feel like we did. Oh, this is so painful. Okay.
Oh, you could just roll. It's a
new
day. Yeah.
8 and 5 is 13. 13, 16, 21, 22 hit points. That's what he has.
I just did 19 hit points, James.
Oh, he's down to 2 hit points.
No, 3, right?
Yeah,
did you say 22?
3, you're right. 22.
Wow.
Down to 3 hit points. Okay. I didn't move, so I'm going to make my crappy attack.
Okay.
Oh, I hit you. You start rolling your hit points. You take 10 from me. Oh, this is a classic Clash of the Titans here. So you turn around the corner, you smell this thing that's been bothering you for 44 years, you charge, raw, you strike him 3 times, gashing him. He rolls around and bites you, and now it is the 2nd round of this epic battle.
How many points of damage did you do?
10.
I have 31 hit points. I have more hit points than you.
Yeah.
So I'm down to 21.
Yeah, that's good. But
let's do it.
If you get gazed, it won't matter. So
I know. But you're down. You have 3.
I know. You just have to.
It ends. Now you're ready to go. It's like a boxing match where you're just,
Here it is.
You are ready
to fall. I rolled a 2.
I rolled a 1.
Right, roll a d10.
Here we go. So this is all right. Attacking normally 3 and 10. Here we go. A 10.
All right, so you're safe from that, but he gets his attack. He hits you.
You're gonna be done. I have 3 attacks. I need like a 6 or something.
Take another 7.
Down to 14.
All right, make your attacks.
Oh, it's coming. It's over. I told you, James. I told you. A 10. That's a hit.
That's a hit.
A 19. You're being hugged.
Oh, now he's being hugged.
And a 14. 3 hits and a hug, but I'm going to be hugging a dead Basilisk.
So you do 4d8 plus a d12. That's a lot.
So let me first do, so when that first claw hits you, this is not the hugging claw.
Right.
Oh, 1 point. 1 point. So you're still alive. This is the second hugging claw. 7. So I'm hugging a dead Basilisk, because that's 8, right?
That's the name of the album, Hugging a Dead Basilisk.
Yes. Yes. And then what happened at that point? Do I do another with 18 addition?
You do to 12. Yeah, you do 2 to 12 for your bite if you didn't do that.
Oh my God, then the hug. Oh yeah, so I'm hugging you, and then I do 4 points with the bite, and then you are dead, and I'm going to squeeze any remaining life out of you for 13 points of...
Wow.
You're destroyed.
Yeah. Is this destroyed? That's right. Yay, he's dead. Ding dong. There you
Stuff.
go.
I heard stuff cracking.
But it's not over.
Oh,
Divine intervention.
Okay, I want to look up the charge. It'll make me feel better, James.
What
You want
charge?
me to feel better, don't you? This action brings the charging party. What's a party? Into combat on the charge round. Well, it does say armor class of charging creatures.
Right.
It does say creatures. Then.
No divine intervention, so you're safe.
Oh, that would be, yeah.
So Yogi Bear, is that the name of the new champion?
Maybe.
Yogi? That was a suggestion by someone.
Or BJ's Bear. There's a lot of. That is interesting. It doesn't say only one charge. Have you ever had a creature charge? Like when you running the adventures?
For a while, I was not allowing creatures to charge, only because I wanted to give player characters an advantage. But then they were getting so powerful, I'm like, nah, screw it, let them do a charge. So it does not say they cannot charge. But
it would be.
Again, when someone is charging, technically you don't roll initiative for them. The initiative is based on the weapon length of that. So if a owlbear were to charge a person with a sword, you could argue the sword is longer than their claws, so they would still go first in that.
Oh yeah, it says the opponent with the longer weapon / reach attacks first. Charging creatures gain +2. Boy, that does sound like you can use it for monsters. He uses the phrase creatures.
Yes.
And it talks about reach. So and it doesn't seem to be any reason why you wouldn't. I mean, charge just the aspect of a charge would apply to anybody.
Right, and you're just moving forward and going back to this idea of attack routine versus multiple attacks. Because the bear has an attack routine, claw, claw, bite. So when he arrives or she arrives at the victim, and again, if you were a basilisk and you had a spear and you set your spear, then you could potentially do double damage. But let's say you got past that, the attack routine would happen. That's why I allowed all three. I know some DMs, and myself included, I go back and forth. Let's say your character has 2 attacks. I only let the first attack happen.
Oh, that's interesting. But that's right. But you're right. But an attack routine is considered as not multiple attacks in a round in that sense. Not like a fighter having 2 for 1. I mean, the DMG is clear on that, right?
That's my understanding. So
that seems to me like that was a correct way to play it. It was certainly not clearly incorrect. So what do you think, James? I thought you'd be happier.
I pressed the wrong button. I am happy. That was good. We did.
The cave bear. This is the other thing I want to do too. Now I don't know if you want to do it now or later. I think that the show, not GrogCon, needs a familiar as its friend. At some point, I think the show should. Don't you think the show should have like a little mascot? The show that's a familiar.
So we're gonna have a creature, a mascot for the convention, and we're gonna have a different mascot for the show.
Yeah. So in other words, the mascot would be for each GrogCon. You'd have this year's mascot for the convention, GrogCon. Grogtalk would just have the resident mascot or the resident familiar. That is, its friend.
Do you see why people are always perpetually confused by us when?
Roll a d20, James.
Oh, God.
This is going to be good. Just trust me.
And also, are you going to get pictures of your foster cats? Because I want to promote the patron thing. Did you talk to the shelter? Are they interested in this, or are they worried about cat exploitation?
I would need fosters. Kitten season is coming up. I haven't had any fosters yet.
So your supply of illegal traffic cats is low.
Yes.
16.
Oh my gosh. Oh, no familiar available in spell range. Oh, all right. Guess I'll have to try next week. That stinks. All right, we'll try to get one. Sorry, folks. I know you're disappointed. We'll try to get our familiar in the next episode. Okay. All right. So the cave bear. So now we need to name the cave bear. Might be could be Yogi Bear, Yogi Beara. Could be BJ's bear. So yeah, start thinking. Where are you laying the pipe? Is there like a beaver in there?
Yeah, I just thought.
You just want to play this. I can't say anything on this show.
Yes, I can. That's exactly right. You know, I think, let me ask Rob. So let's see. Do you want to be on for Have You Ever? Let's see if he wants to be on for that. Because if it is, we'll go to commercial. I have reinstituted the commercials, Dan. We're going to see if we get banned because we don't have a guest, so I don't really care if we get banned and get unbanned. So.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Is it the commercial? It's the commercial. That's the.
And let's go to the lobby and all the other crap. Yep.
Okay.
Right. All right. So we're going to take a quick 5-second break, get Rob on, and be back. So enjoy the intermission.
And now, before the next show starts, let's enjoy an intermission. You'll find our snack bar chock full of good things to eat and drink. Tasty, tempting hot dogs, thirst-quenching soft drinks, fresh, crunchy popcorn, a complete assortment of delicious candy, and a full line of cigarettes. You've plenty of time, so visit the snack bar now. A tasty treat will double your enjoyment of the show.
Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat.
Delicious things to eat.
The popcorn can't be beat. The sparkling drinks are just dandy. The chocolate bars and the candy. So let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat. Let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat.
Your dungeon master has placed you in a dreadfully precarious position. You're playing the most phenomenal game ever created. Your skin grows cold from your first glimpse of the enormous beast. It's a product of your imagination. Survival depends on a quick, decisive move. Your choices are limited. Stand and fight, or run. Use your lightning bolt. Victory is yours.
Win the treasure.
TSR Hobbies, Dungeons & Dragons games. Products of your imagination.
Challenge your imagination to come alive and to battle with the creatures of Dungeons and Dragons. Grapple against the forces of evil as a Marvel Comics superhero. Hunt adventure and glory as Indiana Jones. The all-new role-playing games of TSR and Dungeons and Dragons. Unleash the power of your imagination.
The Beholder, the Beholder. Legendary and terrifying. Each eye possesses a different magical ability. The main eye projects an anti-magical cone, and the other eyes have different spell-like abilities, including disintegrate, flesh to stone, cause fear, cause death, and others. Many variant beholder species exist, such as observers, spectators, eyes of the deep, elder orbs, hive mothers, and death tyrants. In addition, some rare beholders can use their eyes for non-standard spell-like abilities. These mutant beholders are often killed or exiled by their peers. Beholders wishing to cast spells like ordinary wizards relinquish the traditional use of their eye stalks and put out their central anti-magic eye, making these beholder mages immediate outcasts. Beholders are one of the few classic monsters that have appeared in every edition of the game since 1975. The Beholder is a formidable enemy and should not be taken lightly.
Open the world of advanced Dungeons and Dragons action figures. Strongheart, Bronze Dragon, Morduk, Nightmare. Discover a world of mystery and magic.
Stand back, Strongheart. You shall never have this treasure.
fool. Evil is no match for good. Until we meet again.
Advanced Dungeons and Dragons action figures from LJN. Pure magic.
In the eerie world of deep, dark dungeons, mystery and magic seem real. There's good against evil with Advanced Dungeons and Dragons action figures. War Duke, Kellic, Strongheart, and Bronze Dragon, each sold separately.
Beware, Strongheart. We will cast an evil spell and steal the treasure. Fool! Evil is no match for good. The treasure is safe.
Advanced Dungeons and Dragons action figures, Kellic, War Duke, Bronze Dragon, Strongheart, each sold separately from LJN.
Now, Bobby! Let's go! Wow!
Thanks, Bobby! No sweat, Diana!
And we are back to this very exciting, fun-filled episode. We have a new little figure, Mr. Rob Cask Ritchie. Is that fair? Do you mind?
Yeah, it's close enough.
Okay, Rob Ritchie, our editor of Flipping and Turning, and he is here to do a couple things. First, he's going to join us in our Have You Ever Played a Bard? What is it, Traveling Through a Minstrel Fair, whatever, Lollapalooza? What? I'm not sure what the...
Close. Have you ever played a bard infiltrating the Assassin's Guild?
Oh, okay. That makes a lot more sense why we got attacked by assassins then.
You'd forgotten the title. Yes, and this is by John Fraser from First Encounter magazine back in the early 80s. It is like a choose-your-own-adventure style. You get to test, though, how good you are at playing a bard. And it was a bloodbath last time. Not many people are left alive.
That's right.
And
it was a bloodbath, which the crowd here at the Web Inn was very happy about.
It was the red wedding of AD&D.
Yes, it was. And just to let our viewers know and listeners know, this installment of Have You Ever Played is brought to you by Toys and Wheels in the Orchard Park Mall in Kelowna, British Columbia. For the most up-to-date selection of TSR modules, games, books, accessories. Tell them James and Dan sent you.
Very nice, very nice. So
they have ColecoVision.
Oh, I love ColecoVision. ColecoVision's great. Just played Mousetrap and Venture on that. That was after Atari. That was the best. So, and what's our character's name?
So the character we are playing is Northrunner. He is a neutral good bard. Neutral good bard. We just talked about neutral good bard.
Just 16, a harp and a horse, out of money, no remorse. I got no place to call my own. Strike a note, here I go. I'm running north, yeah. I'm Northrunner. Yeah! Good night, Cleveland! Thank you.
Yes!
Thank you, yes. Dan made me do that, and just for those who wondering why, as opposed to it, they made me do it. So there you go.
That was sensational. Thank you.
Yeah, that is worthy of a on-the-spot 100 experience point bonus award.
No, I'm sorry. It will be considered when doing his ratings at the end.
Well, yes, but that you write it down now so you don't forget about it.
Indeed. So so that was James playing the Northrunner song on the Canaith mandolin.
That's right.
The Canaith mandolin. Okay. All right. Thank you, James. Are you gentlemen ready?
We are ready.
Yeah. So, well, I'm sorry. Those of you who are still alive, are you ready?
Yes.
Okay.
We are still alive.
Let's do it. So I believe last time we were attacked. Northrunner was attacked by an assassin, and presumably you have survived. After the disturbing encounter with the so-called bard, You proceed down a side road and enter the city's slum area. The smell is quite appalling, and you swallow carefully, setting your wrenching stomach at ease. As you walk past various ramshackle huts, a trio of ragged beggars approach you and grovel at your feet for money. Though you are a compassionate man, you decide not to involve yourself with the paupers. More beggars begin to gather, and eventually you have over 30 of the wretches following you. You ignore them, and they begin to get angry, picking up rocks as they go along. Seeing yourself in dire straits, you decide that you'd better do something. I kind of like this adventure. I like this guy's style. Okay, here we go.
Forget it.
I feel like I'm eating dinner at like a nice restaurant. Bar in the corner. Okay. Number 1, do you run like mad from the beggars? Number 2, give them 30 gold pieces, leaving you with just 49. So basically you're just like throwing money and running and they're all like scrambling. Okay. 3, fight them with your sword. 4, call lightning on the beggars. We need to have John Fraser on the show. I like this guy. Oh, here we go again. Just to let you know, my spouse felt that 150 degrees long enough would kill you, but that's a different issue. That's so last episode. B5, control temperature, again, 10 degrees radius, and freeze the beggars at minus 66 degrees. Freeze. This is great. B6, cast entangle on the beggars and run. Yeah, you sure do sound. This guy does. Northweather does sound compassionate. 7, charm the beggars with your music and suggest that there is a box of gold 50 feet behind them, then run. 8, cast fairy fire and attack with sword. 9, throw dagger, then run. 10, throw a dagger, then fight with your sword. There it is, folks. Make your choices now.
Make
1,
your choices now.
Run like mad. 2, throw 30 gold pieces at them, leaving with 49. 3, fight them with your sword. 4, call lightning on the beggars. 5, control temperature and freeze them at minus 66 degrees. 6, entangle. 7, charm them. 8, fairy fire, attack with sword. 9, throw a dagger, then run. 10, throw a dagger, then fight with your sword. James, I have a question.
Yes.
Will we be judged on alignment? Because I am neutral good. Northwinder is neutral good. Should that be taken into consideration? Do you? Yeah. Rob is saying yes.
Absolutely.
So this is part of playing a good. Okay. So I'm just mentioning that for people out there.
And we had in what was Sage Advice the month before. Well, we just had backstab, neutral good. It's okay to do that, but killing innocent people, quote unquote, wasn't that one of the questions we had? Could you kill?
Yes.
And the answer was, if you knew they were evil, super evil, that was fine.
Yes, correct. We did learn that last time in Sage Advice in the March issue. So I think, gentlemen, have you made up your choices?
Well, we'll ask Rob, who's our guest today.
Well, I'm double checking something in the Bard book.
Wait, can he do that? James, is that a foul?
He's in the player's handbook, right? He's not checking anything else but the player's handbook.
I can look up my character's abilities in the player's handbook. I have a couple of things that entangle is an attractive option, but it is not entirely safe. I think that and I'm not sure whether or not I have an expectation that I'm going to need a lot of money, but I would think that giving gold to beggars is a good act, and if it's certainly a way that resolves the issue, I'm going to go number 2. Throw gold.
You're going to do a number 2.
I'm dropping a deuce on this one.
He's going number 2. I'm going to join Rob. And we're both gonna do number 2 together.
Well, I have to be contrary. I'm gonna do 7 since I have my. There's money over there. Oop, wrong card. Oh, that's a terrible card. There you go. That's why I failed my charms.
The beggars take your mandolin and beat you with it. I'd be concerned that charm doesn't work on that. There's over 30.
That was
right?
my concern as well. But
Yeah. Okay.
It doesn't say that it's a mass charm. So.
Yeah. All right. James.
What level bard are we?
We're 12. 11th or 12th or something like that.
Oh,
yes,
really?
we are 12th.
I might change my answer.
12th level bard, 7th level.
Change my answer to the music.
I'm charming.
I'm doing number 7.
All right, I'm gonna stay with number 2.
I think the safe one is 2.
Okay.
I agree with you.
Yeah, because if it doesn't work on everyone, then you're not that you're gonna have a hard time killing them. Okay, James, do we have people selected online?
Well, a lot of these are similar, and a lot of the answers were already given, so they're kind of adjudicating that. A lot of people are doing charm. That's right. They want me to play Stonehenge. Stonehenge. I gotta go learn that next time by Spinal Tap. That's right. When the dance of the little people come out. No one knows where they came from. Or where they went. There looks like charm is the answer.
Okay.
I should play Mob Rules on this. I got to learn how to play that. So that's the other.
Well, one. I may have mentioned this. I had an opportunity to see Purple Sabbath. Remember, Black Sabbath had Ian Gillan, the lead singer for the Born Again tour. Yep. They played in the Lakeland Civic Center, and I didn't go because I'm like, no, they're all washed up and old. And apparently, there's some suggestion. Some have suggested that Spinal Tap, in that Stonehenge scene, was premised on that Black Sabbath tour, because apparently there was problems like that with their. But I digress. Okay.
Well,
all right. Are we ready to
Thompson's going off the reservation. He's doing Called Lightning. He's
good.
He's good.
Wow. Good. Someone had to. He's all right. Well, that's fine. He's living in
system, David.
So you're Wild Oats. He's living in the here and now. He'll handle it he'll handle it when he gets to wherever he's going. Where's he going? Neutral good. Where do you go when you die?
So Elysium?
Something gets Happy Hunting Grounds?
That's chaotic. I think that's chaotic good.
He'll deal with it when he gets there. Okay.
Where's Carlos when you need him?
Okay, here we go. I am flipping and I am turning.
I gotta look it up.
To the answers. Okay. B1, which was...
It is Elysium. Neutral good. Oh, for the win. Thank you.
Yes, very nice. Okay, so B1. Did anyone take B1 Run Like Mad from the Beggars?
No.
That's not a bad idea, but you took 10 hit points from stones thrown by the Beggars. They're stoning you.
Yeah.
Disgusting.
Stonehenge.
You don't hope they're stones.
Yeah, you better hope they are. Okay, 2. So this was... Anyone else do 2 other than myself?
No.
Okay. No damage, just a little poorer. Okay.
That's the nice one.
That was nice.
3.
Well, I'm neutral good. I'm playing the alignment. 3. Fight them with your sword. Anyone do 3?
No, no one else has done it. No one's even playing anymore. They're just like, they're putting things out, except Shannon's Charm the Beggars, Lloyd's Charm. Everyone's charming, pretty much. Except David, who's saying, bugger it,
right.
Call lightning.
Okay. 3 was fighting with sword is take 12 hit points in combat. I assume that means what's implicit in that is that you slaughtered 30 beggars.
Right. Well, because they are 0 level.
They might have missed morale.
That's true. You kill a couple of those guys, they run.
Well, they don't have high morale. 0 level, so you'll get 7 attacks, assuming he's a 7th level fighter. So you're
at least 7.
7 go down, and I need like a 2 to hit.
Yeah. You're slaughtering them. You're just...
Oddly enough, murdering beggars in the street is really easy when you're a good soldier.
No bloodletting in the streets, please. Okay, here is Call Lightning on the beggars. All right, I'm gonna go out on a limb and say David should be lucky. This is the answer. Lucky for his here and after. No storm in the area. Take 20 hit points before you run. Oh. He's in rough. All right. Yeah, there was still no storm. Didn't we do that last time? There was no storm, right? 5. Okay, here I'm sure this is going to be controversial. Let's see. I'm now trying to freeze them.
I'm sure it works because the last one worked.
Fine. The beggars are on ice. Yes, you've frozen and killed all of the. Yes, you've frozen them.
Terrible.
Okay, that is awful. 6, and 6 is the entangle and run. And Oh, we did this last time. Entangle works only near plants. Take 15 hit points before running. Have we learned nothing? 7. So this is a lot of people with the charm. Okay. Wow. Excellent choice. Excellent. Mine was okay. Okay, period. Excellent choice.
That's all it says?
No damage.
Doesn't go on about how wonderful, how the sweet dulcet tones?
Excellent choice. No damage. If you picked this, you are clearly a superior player. You're heading toward a 1 score instead of a 4.
That's right.
Much better choice than giving up your money. You're still rich, unlike the
giving
person
up money.
who picked
I'm
2.
neutral good, but I'm not giving up my money. What kind of game
what
is
I
this?
what I like about it is that, remember, it says you charm them and convince them there's a box of money somewhere else.
right.
So you're lying to them through song.
Yeah, they probably like beat up some dude with a box nearby.
There, get him!
He's got a box. It's in there. Ah! Okay. Where are we? We are on number 8. Fairy fire and attack with sword. Take 6 hit points of damage. I assume implicitly you slaughtered them. 9 is throw a dagger, then run. It's that choice again. Take 8 hit points from thrown stones. 10 was throw a dagger, then fight with your sword. It is take 10 hit points in combat. I would like to note, yes, I am poorer, but I'm taking no hit points damage in this installment.
I took 5 last time.
So basically, Dan, your choice, while effective, could have been taken by a 0-level merchant who happened to have 30 gold in his pocket.
Rob, I'm glad you brought this up, because that is, in fact, the way one should play first edition. Play as if you are a 0-level merchant without a lot of money. That's the way you should play. I've been playing as a 0-level merchant forever. I've never lost a character. I mean, I've not gained. I'm still first level.
Right.
But
on first level, 0th level.
0. Yes, I'm not. I haven't left my apprenticeship.
Exactly.
Okay, so that completes another installment of Have You Ever Played a Bard Infiltrating the Assassin's Guild?
So now we are now on to the focus of our show today, which again, we are becoming a parody of everything else. We're now self-promoting ourselves. The show becomes about itself, which is wonderful. And it's well-deserved because we are now here to talk to Rob about the one, the only, Flipping and Turning issue 3, which I will now present in its glorious thing on the screen for everyone to witness. So, Rob, maybe you could give us a quick background of the art magazine, how it came to be, your rationale, all that kind of stuff.
Oh, certainly. As recounted in the first issue, Dan told me to do it, and I had to do it because he's my Grog Emperor. That's basically how I got involved in this. And thankfully, the Grog Empire is equally, submissive, and have compliant and submissive, and have been submitting some really wonderful articles. So we've had 3. This is our 3rd issue we're talking about, and it is a wonderful, long anticipated monk edition. And right off the bat, you can tell that it's special because the cover, I'm going to see if I can, they can see the cover.
The cover I'm presenting to everyone as it is. And just before we continue, if the soft copy is available, if you go to our Discord, it's under the Grogzine channel. You can download it. It is free as a gift to everyone. If you would like a physical copy, if you don't want to print it and you want one that is, I mean, it's such a difference. I mean, I hate to sound like that, but to have a physical copy of it and just the cover and looking at it, it's amazing. Send a note either at Discord to Rob or editor@grogcon.com, and the only cost is the cost of us to produce it and ship it. We make no money off this.
That is correct. We don't make any money on this. All we're doing is helping you get a copy of it, so that you can share in the annals of the Grog Empire.
Okay.
This cover is an amazing work of art by the one, the only Aggie Pryor.
What awesome! Super awesome.
Contains small illustrations of some great luminaries in the Grog Empire,
and some people
and
who
also
shouldn't be
me.
in there. That's right, and myself, exactly.
Right.
It's the Rogues Gallery of.
That's much more accurate. Yes, Rogues Gallery, and of course, in the upper right we have our great sensei.
That's right. Peering down at us.
There you go.
That's it.
It's a great. I was very, very pleased with everything in the episode. Obviously, it's the biggest one, and it's the longest issue we've had. There's some terrific articles on monks. There's a what do you call it? An adventure by the Brian Crouching Llama Larch. Illustrations by Adrian's Hidden Peacock Sanchez. Let's see. There's just a lot of great stuff. We have things from Leonard Lakofka, the late great Leonard Lakofka.
Well, let's just start from the top. Let's go right to the Wizard of the Marketplace, and you kind of do an introduction, which is wonderful. I love the artwork that you've either gotten commissioned or found, so thank you for all that. It just makes a big difference. Starting my submission, Drunken Gnome Master, that's yes. The Grogtalk Adventures, Episode 1. As promised, we came through and we did, and I want to thank Rob for helping get this into some sort of readable, legible thing.
What you submitted was beautiful clay to be molded into
kind of like a fine mud, like in Aurelian. It was the Aurelian mud.
Yes, exactly. Some of the best mud in all the realms.
So that was kind of in the spirit of fighting fantasy meets choose your own adventure. You read through the choices, and if an encounter happens, you actually fight the battle, and we give you stats for. And now there is official spelling of Pixie and Glade, because this was the first time it is written, and many people wanted to know that. It is now canon. This is how it's spelled.
It's finally, exactly, the long controversy is over. And of course, you know, the runes of Greyhawk are different than the English alphabet. So it took a while to get the translation correct.
This is our interpretation of it. That's a very fine point, Rob, that others may come after us and read it a different way. Social mores may change. Glade may become Gladys at that point. But for now, it's Glade.
As happens, yes. Well, I also want to point out that this is a select your own path book, not in any way to be confused with those other inspirational works that you mentioned, but certainly not to imply that they are in any way infringement on their trademarks.
Very well said. Yes, I was giving our listeners, particularly since they can't see it, a point of reference to the genre that this type of work would be part of. Similar to science fiction, you know, that there's no connotation that we're actually lifting and stealing the idea. It's
no, of course not. Right. I mean, by now the idea is so obvious that it's anyway.
Yes. Choose your destiny, whatever the case. So that's the first part, and and it allows you to flip and turn, which is that's the whole point of it. Which is
that was the number one goal of this, was to have people put their fingerprints all over the book. And by the way, I want to show our viewers that I am wearing the rubber gloves because I'm handling one of these mint copy issues, and I don't want anyone to think I'm smudging it with my filthy, grubby Cheetos covered fingers.
Yes, it won't be a second. We're not going to have scratch and dent flipping and turning available for you, right?
That's right.
So there you go. All right, page 3.
Yep, is a great article about Car Wars.
That was a good game. We used to love it.
It's a great game, and it's an old what's the word I'm looking for? An old style game.
Steve Jackson, right? That's a Steve Jackson.
Yeah, it's a Steve Jackson game, and those of us who played D&D probably had, at least if we didn't, we had friends who had their old micro games. Steve Jackson's Microgames, and I was very pleased to have a article about Car Wars. And if anybody has any other old school games, that's the word I was looking for. If anyone else has any other old school game articles that they would like to see published, submit them to editor@grogcon.com, and we will take a look at them.
So I want to do a paranoia one. I just need to figure out if I have that adventure that I did, but I'd like to run it 1 or 2 more times. So I have to decide if that's what I'm going to submit. But yeah, if you have old school things, it doesn't have to be all AD&D. That's a very good point.
The next article is the tremendous parenthetical evil articles by Dan Kittenrake Gormansky. And in this case, he goes into great detail about the wonderful Monster Manual entry, Nightmares. It goes into almost dissertation level analysis.
It's a real page turner.
It is a page turner. Well, it's on 2 pages.
That's right.
This one you don't have to flip or turn. You just open the page, sit down, read it. When you wake up from the nap, finish it, that sort of thing.
Who would have thought that it would take so long? Yeah, exactly.
I mean, I'm reading. It's been a long time, so it's like I'm reading with fresh eyes, and I'm like, man, this is boring.
It is not. It's amazing.
Yeah,
and it has some terrific illustrations, of course.
Well,
that's wonderful. Is that who did the?
Who did?
Oh, that's Adrian.
That's amazing. Yeah, that drawing of Nightmare is amazing. Great work by Adrian.
You know it's long when it's at the end of it says, "But back to where we began." That's
I submitted some questions to the Gibbering Mouther, and Rob told me that I think it's like he had to like reduce the font to like 4-point or something like that because my questions were so long. And he said, and he banned me. I'm banned, or at least I'm suspended.
Ooh.
My ability to submit questions. My ability to submit questions to Gibbering Mouther has been suspended due to.
You used up your quota, Dan.
I didn't realize it was a word quote. I would have been a little more brave.
Well, now there we had to institute one.
Because of me, it's the O'Gorman rule.
You're a groundbreaking. Your groundbreaking questions have caused us to rethink our entire lives. Actually,
well, that's fine. That's the way law works, right? You know, something happens, you hadn't anticipated it, and you adopt a rule, and you've done so.
I think you'll be very pleased with the answers that the Gibbering Mouther came up with.
Well, I'm not happy with the retroactive application of the rule, but that's fine.
All right. So then we have Terrible Monsters, and we have the Mad Wizards Challenge. So tell people about that.
Well, this was great. This was a lot of fun. The idea, there's so many monsters in the Monster Manual that are the result of horrible experiments by mad monsters. And I mean by mad wizards. And so what I did is I instituted a very scientific chart of determining a certain number of spells. And I'm sorry, the Mad Wizard did, L. Ron Baroon. And he sent these out to various Mad Wizards, and they came back with different monsters that they thought the spells would be used when creating the monster. And we got a pretty good variety.
Yeah, this is great.
By Brian and David Thompson and Dan Gormansky and Vic Dorset. And I just thought what I loved about this was that every one of you thought, well, I'm going very basic and obvious. That you all basically said one sense or another, oh, well, what I sent you is very basic and obvious. And as you can see, they're all quite different from each other. Mm-hmm. So it's a great example of the imagination and creativity of the Grog Empire.
And you are doing something similar, I believe, with issue 4, right? With a potion.
Yes, we're doing the Mad Alchemists Challenge, and I've gotten some tremendous entries already. So I'm very pleased by that.
Super cool.
So the next article is The Wondrous Troop of Dr. Xavier by Robert Timorous Bushi Mackey, a.k.a.
Minion.
And Minion. And it's a great little kind of a side adventure, introducing some interesting characters that could be recurring for your players to interact with, and a kind of a, I would say, I'm guessing you should probably be first through third level characters to take on the Toll Bridge Brigands.
It's perfect. It's 2 pages. You could flesh it out a little bit.
Yeah, it's the first hour of a 2-hour session, no problem. It's quite beautiful and written in his style. And the next,
moving on to the Arcanist, new AD&D
the
NPC
Arcanist,
yeah.
Yes, by Sonny Falgene. So this one is a really neat NPC class, kind of basically a magician's assistant, and somebody you would absolutely want to put. You would want one in your wizard's tower to help you to
crank out stuff.
Yeah, crank out spells, things like that. So that's another one. I love charts. I love it when people submit charts. So and there's 2 good ones right there. And then the next page we have The Annals of the Lower Reaches by Lou Pulsifer. So we're very honored and pleased that friend of the show, Lou Pulsifer, has agreed to submit columns to Flipping and Turning. And this is his premiere appearance. Next issue, we'll announce that maybe later, but
that's right.
His participation and in Flipping and Turning is intensifying. Let me just say that.
I mean, this just amazing to me. We have someone who, some of his articles and some of his contribution to early game and to the game we love, AD&D, and old school gaming in general, is so profound. And now he's a contributing author.
He's stooping like a monarch, throwing gold pieces to beggars, and here it is. And this is the result.
Yeah, so super cool. That's great, and we may have more folks that like that. So it's we get people on, and people then we bribe them, we berate them to submit stuff, and they do. So that's great.
We light incense to their altars and everything, and it seems to, and the sweet smelling smoke rises up, and they shower blessings upon us.
Let's ask the gibbering mouther. Some great questions here.
Yeah, this is we have a few questions from the gibbering mouther, and as always the case, this is binding upon all of your games within the Grog Empire. So everyone within the sound of my voice, read this to find out the proper answer to puzzling questions.
Yep. He does. The gibbering mouther uses multiple mouths to bestow wisdom on all of us. And then next is
Long Hairs and Labyrinths, the regular column by Menyon, aka Rob, with the always thoughtful and interesting thoughts and about the nature of the game and the community of gamers that we are in and the history thereof. I feel very blessed to have his participation in the magazine.
And he's on his podcast is on my rotation of things I listen to regularly. A lot of fun.
Yes, Confessions of a Wee Timorous Bushi. You can find it on Spotify.
And segueing into that, he's one of the 3 question answers. Looks like.
Yes. So in the today we chose 2 members of the Grog Empire are Anglophones who are living in Japan, and they did our 3 questions. So it was very interesting to learn a little bit about. Oh, cattail just swung into the.
In there? Yes. There's a cat here.
Next was Spells from the Future, which is another recurring article, which is very interesting. These are spells that the Chronomancer has brought from the future that can be found perhaps in ancient and or perhaps cross-dimensional tomes of lore to be found in treasure hoards and libraries. And the next couple of pages are the Leomund files, which are things from the estate of Leonard Lakofka. And today we are talking about the Amedio vampire. So Amedio is a jungle area in Greyhawk.
Right.
And this is a vampire variant, which is sure to throw your vampire hunting PCs for a loop because he's just a little different than the average vampire. And following this is the most important combat rule you probably aren't using. It's a discussion of the weapons AC, 2-hit adjustment to AC for weapons, and it is a great, what I want to say, defense of adding this rule to your play and why it's important. And this is by David Kangaroo Tailstripe Thompson. And also on the bottom of that, the last page, we have the adventures of Hugo, who is about to become a meal for a giant crawfish.
It's not Etu Hugo, it's Etouffee.
Etouffee Hugo. Yes, there's going to make a it's going to make an etouffee. He thinks he's going to have a nice dinner, but he's going to be a nice dinner.
So there's a lot of French here, which is interesting. I don't know if we have a whole lot of French listeners yet. We have Belgium, and some people in Belgium speak French, correct?
I believe so.
Yeah, half of them speak French and half of them speak something else.
German?
I was thinking more along the lines, though, of the French-speaking people of New Orleans when we was together because of the crawfish.
Yes, that's wonderful. That's why you're here and in your job, and I'm in my job. Very good.
Le bon temps brûlé is the motto of New Orleans.
Is there any, now my understanding is the next issue is an underwater theme, is that correct?
No, that is not correct. Issue number 4, the theme is fighters in combat.
Oh, that's right, I'm one ahead. Then after that
number 5 is an underwater theme.
Is
and
there
also GrogCon.
Yes.
Is there any chance in that issue, the underwater one, that will have stats for the giant crawfish?
The giant crawfish exists in the monster manual.
It does?
Under giant crawfish.
Wow, so I didn't even know that.
So I think I'm going to decide. I assume that the next sage advice will be, hey,
that's great.
I don't have stats for the crawfish. Where can I find those? And then
where can I find the giant crawfish?
I'll write that one. Well, I think I've exhausted all my words.
Well, Dan, I'm going to let you in on an editorial choice or an editorial secret of the flipping and turning. Hugo only attacks monsters or only encounters monsters for which there are not illustrations in the monster manual. Because, as you may know, as we all know, we love looking at the monster manual for hints on how monsters murder PCs. And not all monsters have those in the monster manual. So our goal here is to try to fill that gap and show how these underrepresented monsters are murdering PCs in every issue.
Well, I think that's an excellent project, and I do see this here. Yes, a very no picture. Yes, thank you. So I've learned something.
No, that's right. Well, there are a deep reading of the texts do open enlightenment.
And
see, because they don't have a drawing. That's why I didn't know that. Right? Because you're right. The ones that don't have drawings, you forget about.
Well, they were in the one of our folks says the giant crayfish was in the Moat House Village of Hamlet.
Oh.
And
where? I don't remember that. I don't remember. I've run Hamlet. Yeah, interesting.
It's in the Moat House somewhere.
Well, Dan, you will be rewarded by going back to prior issues of Flipping and Turning and seeing what monsters Hugo is being murdered in those issues.
I always love those drawings. I do always look forward to.
And I feel like I could, now that someone who, obviously Adrian, who's actually skilled at, I think I could do one of the gelatinous cube or the invisible stalker. Now I could do Hugo getting murdered by one of them. I think I could just cut this out and have him look horrified by something invisible in front of him. So if you, please don't let Adrian do those. Save those for me so I can work.
All right, fair enough. Fair enough.
And the cutoff for issue 4 submissions is when?
Well, issue 4 submissions, written submissions, I'm hoping to get them in by the end of April or the beginning of May. So then that way I can begin with getting illustrations through the month of May and assemble the book properly in June for its availability in June, towards the end of June.
All right, great. So next we have something to make. I think this is super cool that Nikki comes and gives us gruel to thing. That's awesome.
Yeah,
I need to try
this one. This one sounds delicious. Eggs in the nine hells. I think that's wonderful. I got to try this one. And see, there's actually 3 things going on here, because as you may notice, because Nikki puts a recipe which then follows right into the adventure that comes afterwards, which is the Daughters of Wesson Vale. And you may be, and readers may be interested to know that Len Lakofka's Medio Vampire makes is in this adventure. So Brian was able to basically put that the Media Vampire into the adventure. So there's an actual theme going on there.
Yeah, I mean, at some point, I know we can't charge money, but I feel like this is so much super cool stuff. You get adventures, monsters. I mean, dragon. Strategic review.
We canceled our subscription.
Right.
To Dragon recently.
Yeah. I mean, why not? Why what do you need it for?
Mm-hmm.
Now we have a couple of advertising. That's also great to see people coming out to support us, to support the magazine.
The convention we are hosting, and an ad for the Dungeon Hobby Shop Museum. If you are in Lake Geneva, go to the Dungeon Hobby Shop Museum and see the where it all started. Next is several pages of Grappling with Unarmed Combat. So this is also by David Thompson. If anyone in the Grog Empire can explain Grappling with Unarmed Combat, it's him. And I just like to point out that it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pages long, which is 4 pages longer, 5 pages longer than in the Dungeon Master's Guide. So you might actually, after reading this, you might actually understand how unarmed combat is supposed to be done in D&D.
And just out of curiosity, when I'm done reading this, is it going to make me want to use it or not use it?
I think it's going to, as in all cases, the argument is that you should use this. And having run through it after reading this, I would say that it makes unarmed combat very interesting and fun, and much more than just roll a d20. Okay, you hit, you grabbed him, whatever. Like some of the derivative and simplified rules from the book that shall not be named.
Yeah, I think it's super cool. I mean, it's just the problem with the unarmed, and even David did a great job. It's just intimidating with all the variables in it, but you get the flavor of it. And for folks who don't feel comfortable extrapolating on, okay, you hit, you grapple them, it gives you that, and there's some realism, quote unquote, to it, which is a lot of fun, but it is intimidating. So
it's intimidating, but part of this, but what this article does is to try to get you through that, to de-escalate that you're not intimidating, to explain to you which things can be done ahead of time. I mean, it's combat in D&D can be intimidating if you have to remember what's my plus to hit for strength, what's my plus to hit for my weapon. But if you write it down and it's ready ahead of time, then you just roll a d20 and you add it.
So so what we're going to do, Dan, I'm going to add this for our future, we're going to for the next monster encounter, whoever fights the cave bear has to grapple them.
Great idea.
All right, we're gonna have to read these.
Right, that's why.
You're gonna have to. Whoever you do, you're gonna have to work out their height and their strength and their dexterity.
Well, James runs the combat on random encounter, so James, you be ready for that.
I'm just saying, we're gonna have to do it there. We're gonna have to. I'm gonna have to go through. You're gonna have to read the notes too. We're gonna have to be prepared for whatever we pick, so that this will be a grappling. So the bear should win.
The one thing, the bear will win, and the reason why is that when you grapple, the one thing about grappling is you go last in the round. So you roll initiative, you're going to go last, and so the bear is going to get his claw, bite, hug on you. But if you have 30 beggars, might be able to overbear a 12th level bard.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Coming next is a couple of a page of ads for friends of the show, which is of course Carlos and Vic. So
yeah, I saw Vic, one of our patrons, bought one of the groggies, which is super cool. So there's an opportunity. Go out there and help support Vic and his things that he does. I mean, he's a great friend of the show and he does a lot of things. So please come out, help them. That would be super cool.
Yes, absolutely. And of course, the same is true with Carlos and Castle Entertainment. Next, we have a continuation of A Touch of Class Monks by Brian Larch. And this is a wonderful, basically, argument or apologia for playing a monk in a D&D game. And having played a game with him playing a monk, I can only say that he knows everything there is to know about playing a monk and makes them tremendously cool. And every bit of that comes through in this article. So I encourage this 100%.
Yeah. There's an idea. First of all, let me step my first thing. Yes, he is to monks what Dan is to gnomes. He is
without a doubt.
A malign class that people don't understand why anyone waste their time with. Brian fights the good fight.
He certainly does.
Someone had an idea. Maybe we should make up stats for Dan and James, and they should wrestle each other.
Wait a minute. That could be the thing that you do when you guys finally get back together and are doing the show in the same place.
That's right. Well, that could be.
You could just wrestle.
Right. We could just wrestle. That'd be great.
Or maybe that could be at GrogCon.
I'll just go with Pummel. I'm not going to grapple him. I think
you should do this at GrogCon, and it could be a fundraiser.
So can you start working on the waiver, Dan? Because
sure.
I'll need a waiver that you'll have to sign, and vice versa.
Yes, and of course we'll need to import Aurelian mud for the event. Don't you think?
That's right.
1 cubic yard of Aurelian mud. It's pretty expensive. We got a page which is part of the Pixie and Glades adventure. Of course, there's a joke at the bottom of the page about the pipe.
It's also
then
fresh.
comes what is possibly my favorite thing in the whole magazine, which is the Barefoot Beatdown. It is a description of the mighty school of halfling monks of the Barefoot Beatdown fighting style, unaccredited. And it is put together by the
super cool
one, the only Carlos Lysing. So it's a little bit of fiction, a little bit of description of the halfling monk as an NPC class, and the origin of their very unorthodox fighting style. And now we're at the end of the book. There's an ad for Alchemist's First Alembic.
I know this thing is awesome. When does this be available? It says it's available at Alchemist Toys or so. I looked. There's a tremendous shortage of them.
Yeah, there is a tremendous. You're right. There's been demand has outstripped supply. Let me just say that. The fact that the succubus hair was much harder to source than we originally thought, and it's printed on all the boxes and stuff. So we're having a little trouble with that.
Was that because of the Suez Canal ship issue? I don't know if that was related or not. I heard there was a container full of succubi in there, and
that's a wonderful. That's an excuse that I will absolutely latch onto. Sure, why not?
There you go. I love it. So that's super fun. And then the movie we're waiting for.
The back cover has the movie poster for the upcoming blockbuster, The Dice Don't Lie, starring Dan Karansky.
Straight to videotape.
Straight to video.
It's
only available on the dark web.
That's right.
It's that rough.
Yes.
It was the free thing you got when you bought Goobers and whatever at the video store. It's like rent a movie, get a Goobers, get a free copy of The Dice Don't Lie.
Right, and so in the parking lot, you just see a bunch of them like laying in the run over by cars, and they're piled up in the trash can.
Well, people could certainly do that, but they're missing out on a lot of fun.
It was a lot of fun to make. It really was. I had a
good time. I'll bet. And you were really in shape. I have to say, you bulked up a lot for the movie, and it shows. That's a commitment to the role that only the finest of B movie actors will take on.
Right.
And keep in mind here that there's a lot of James starred in this too.
Well,
as the liar.
James was the first. He was the first person you beat down.
Right. The Apollo Creed. I was not the Apollo Creed. I was the Not even what was the guy from Punch Out from the old Nintendo. I was Glass Joe. That was the
Glass Jaw Joe. Yeah,
the first guy you fought.
Actually, I don't make an appearance. This is like a horror movie where I'm like always in the shadows. Because if you look, it's starring James, co-starring Burrowing Mammals, Glade, and Pixie. So what happens is I actually never. I'm just always in the shadows. It's like the fear of the unknown.
Oh,
I'm not 100% sure you've seen the movie.
I'm not sure
I'm not sure. I was all the way to the end.
The final scene. The final scene.
Yeah, my gosh. That scene where you burst through the wall like the Kool-Aid Man.
Right.
My gosh, it was. I was on the edge of my seat.
And I pound James, and I grapple James.
You grapple James with one hand and a bear with the other. It was tremendous.
He tried to stare at me. Turned him into stone.
That was great.
The basilisk stare.
What a great movie that was. That was fun times doing that. And one day, if it ever gets released, we're like Prince in the vault. We have so many things there you just can't see. So.
Well, the reason why I'm not listed on it is because I refuse to come out of my trailer. All
your lines were dubbed.
Yes, they just had
Rich Little to do your lines.
Yes, they just had to go on without me.
Sorry. Like those old, poorly dubbed martial arts movies. And now the dice don't lie.
The part of Dan will be played by excerpts of Lou Ferrigno from the Incredible Hulk.
Well, very good. Again, I know we've said it both privately and publicly. This work, and again, thanks to everyone who's contributed. But if it wasn't for Rob, this would not exist. Simple as that. So thank you, thank you.
Thank you, Rob.
Well, let's keep it rolling. It's a lot of fun. I'm really enjoying it. The issue 4 is filling out, but there's still room for contributions. Some of y'all have said you're going to send me things, and I haven't seen them. All I'm saying is I'm going to give Dan a protein shake and send him after you if you don't come across.
Well, he's going to use that protein shake to write strongly worded letters to them.
Cease and desist. Well, yeah.
Govern yourself accordingly. Well, no, you're going to
enforce. The opposite of a cease and desist is.
Start and start and continue.
Continue. So I'm going to send you start and continue letters.
We're going to demand that the terms of the agreements are going to be enforced.
That's right.
Yeah.
I mean, payment will not be forthcoming if you do not complete.
Well, they're in breach of contract, and we will proceed with the remedies.
Tortiously behavior, and we'll enjoin this tortiously enjoined per curiam behavior.
Right.
And no slap. There will be no slap. What do you call it?
Lawsuits, slap lawsuits.
Lawsuits.
So, you know what we should do, James? We should file an amicus curiae brief against them. Yeah.
That's good. That Latin. Excuse me. I love that Elvis. Love it when you drop that Elvis in the show.
We should go ab initio. We're gonna drop an ab initio on them. Have you seen these ab initios? We're gonna go ab. Yes.
That's right.
Okay. And on that note,
I think we're time to roll. This D10 is not reflective of the magazine. The magazine is a 15 out of 10. So Rob, you're here because apparently
I am here.
I don't know if Dan got all his dice, so I'm assuming he doesn't. So you may roll the D10 to say how this episode went.
All right, I've got my D10 right here.
So
and I'm going to fudge it like crazy. Oh my God, I'm not. It's a 0.
A 0.
That's a 10.
So we got a 0.
It shows a 0.
The 10 is that.
Wait, what?
It literally came up. And this was better than the one with Steve Marsh.
Yes.
Wow. It's a standing ovation.
Please, thank you. Gosh. Thank you, God.
Wow. Have you noticed how every time we've never had a bad roll? I'm starting to get suspicious of our guest rolls.
Well,
no one's ever been like it's a 2.
The dice don't lie, Dan.
Okay.
Dan, I'm not 100% sure. Your memory is it's been 80 episodes. I'm not sure you remember that some of those early shows were real stinkers, according to the dice.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
The dice definitely don't lie. So, again, hopefully we will see you guys in a couple of weeks. Thank you again, Rob, for your work on that. Hopefully next week we will be playing next Saturday from 7 to 10 or 11. So if you're interested, please reach out to us through Patreon. And for Grogtalk, I'm James.
And I'm Dan.
And who are you? The little figure?
I'm Rob.
Rob. Well, welcome. Thank you for everything you've done. And we look forward to seeing you next time on Grogtalk. Take care.
Grogtalk was taped in front of a live studio audience.